Say in terms of exit, there's going to be that trade-off between time, how quickly does an offer come, how much do we want, and
Versus
probably
salary.
given our first 2 years, we would probably take a much lower figure than we would in a year's time when hopefully things are going,
Yeah.
we've grown and things are on the up. So what does that number look like?
That's it, because this is it though. Because if you exited for a number, I've played this. Then what part's is fucking ego? Because if it says B at the end of it, I'm like, and it's public, and I'm like, yeah, but everyone will know. I fucking did it. Like, that's one of the things.
Yeah.
Like, I got tattooed across it. Tell me I can't. I'll show you I can. I'm like, fucking did it.
Yeah. But then is that your? I was a bit like that. But is that your driver? I know this is supposed to be on the other way around here, but
Fascinating conversation though. But like, it's not too, like we spoke about last week. There's not too many people you can have proper philosophical conversation with that actually get you to start going, what is the fucking answer there?
yeah.
Because you can talk about commercials, talk about brand, you can talk about this. But like, when the check comes in or the offer comes in with, what?
So I got asked this question, Ben. Yeah.
Go on.
This exact question is that thing that we're talking about when we first ever opened our first shop, and I won't tell you who the person was, but a friend of ours at the time asked me, he said, what's your driver and where do you want to be? Because I can see this going places. And my answer was, my dream is to always pay my mum and dad's mortgage off, allow them to retire early, and give my wife and children a nice life. And then he said, I'll ask you the same question in a year's time and see where you're at. And he did. I talk to this guy regularly. He asked me the same question. He said, what's your driver? I said, it's still the same thing. He said, okay, it's been a year since we've had this conversation. You've got the same driver. What happens when you're on the Bill Gates ladder and you get to the end and you've paid the mortgage and you've got the cars and you've got a home for your family? And what's next? You've proven it to the world. So everyone in the local community and the UK knows, oh, Ben's made it. Fantastic. Wow. Then what, bro? You got the signed Jimi Hendrix Fender. You got the TV. You got the house. You got the this, that. Then what? What's the next? What's next for you, man? What's the driving force?
Do you have to know the answer?
No, you don't. You don't. And that's why you're talking about, philosophy and how that's what philosophy is based on.
Because Kevin Hart speaks about this. I think it's on the Joe Rogan podcast. He speaks about the life business is like a game. Go into a casino, you're playing a bit of roulette, and you win a bit of money. And they say, Mr. Hart. And they open the door. You walk through this door, and you're playing the same game, but like everything's different. You're like, what's I doing over there? Doing that little thing over there for little money. And you're playing this game. And now the money's bigger. You don't have to do much as much for it. And then you win a bit more. And they open another door. I say, Mr. Hart, come through. And he said, all the way up to when I walked into the Super Bowl. And then Jeff Bezos walks in. And I was like, he said, and I realized I'm playing a different game to what those guys are playing. I was like, these are just a set of games. And the rooms keep opening. You don't know what's open. You don't know where the levels are. You don't even know what's existing until the next door. And you think you've made it. Yeah. And then the next door. And I was like, it's just a game. But I want to play it's just a fun game. Obviously, it's actually not a fun game. It's a horrible game.
It's a horrible game, yeah.
But like, you want to win.
But I think I view it in the same way. Because when we talk about exit and where would we like to be, one thing that I know for certain is, it's going to sound bad, I don't want this company in 20 years.
Doesn't sound bad.
Right now, this is the one thing that we wanted to do. We've gone out and done it, and we put everything that we have into doing this. But I know there's something else. At a point in time, I know there's something else. Another room opens, another idea comes. So it's not the driver isn't the exit. Maybe that enables us to go off and to chase something else.
It's to play and enjoy, like you said.
See, that's it, right? So I started this podcast to the heart of it, to try and tell my story and get the book stuff done. So I've got the transcripts of the book from Talking Stories, never been released, still not released yet. Because like what happened in the lead up to that stuff was like trauma, realization trauma. And so like I wanted to try and like get it out, one, just cathartically out of me, but also like just think, if I'd have known what I knew now, then that would not have impacted so many people's lives in a negative way. And so like, how do I get that message out there? And then obviously to try and put a podcast out to a level I wanted to do, it was fucking expensive and painful. So like, best build a little fucking tool for that, build a team, build that. And I've kept solving the real problem all the way through until hopefully we've got the software ready to go next month. And it's been like a 2-year process to just actually get something that's even half, that's decent, but not more than half decent, to actually solve the fucking problem that existed in trying to get my thing out the door. And so it came from solving a real problem. But to your point there, this is not the actual thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I'm like, I need to get over there. So I best fucking
This is the
invent
first stepping stone.
a fucking vehicle that can actually do it. And then I thought, well, obviously loads of people must have this problem because if I can struggle and I'm fairly fucking smart, like, and here we are.
Do you know what I think is important with that? And we've had this conversation quite a lot, and I've seen it through my career. And I was relatively successful at a young age. You start to look around, you start to think about people start to hit ceilings, which is a shame. And I think a lot of it comes from a comfort point of view or a mindset point of view. It's like, I'm happy, this is my level, this is what I do, let's stop moving. Whereas that mindset is it's that kind of ever-growing thing. Always developing, always learning, always moving. That, I think, thinking about it is what the driver is. Is we don't stand still. Ideally, the bar always raises. There's not a ceiling. There may be way up there, but at least we have the desire to continue to push, be better, learn.
But as you meet new friends, as you meet new connections, and go to new places, you hang out in new circles, and then you expand, and then you grow into that expansion. And so that's back to comfort. It's the opposite of comfort, right? You meet new people, like I met you guys last week, and having that kind of conversation is like, oh, I could expand. I'm not thinking, oh, let's make more money. Oh, like, of course, that's like a byproduct. But like I said, do cool shit, do cool people. But you don't know what we want to do until you're in the place doing it. So how do you plan?
You can't, can you?
So like we plan forecast. Open, yeah. But then that's also scary, right?
Yeah. Because you're really, really letting go of the reins there. You know, you're letting someone in.
I think if you're always open, you've always got a degree of uncertainty as well.
Do we thrive on uncertainty?
It's a form of risk, isn't it?
It's a blessing and the curse, isn't it? It's what keeps you going, but it's what keeps you up at night.
Yeah, the human needs, right? Certainty, uncertainty, so variety, spice of life, love and connection, significance, the top 4 needs there, and then growth and contribution beyond yourself. And so we need certainty, but we then need uncertainty. And then we're all driven by love and connection, but significance. And some people will have these in higher order than others.
Yeah.
Because like we said about driving a Ferrari makes people feel significant. Drinking the coffee makes them feel like an entrepreneur. Drinking that, going to those places makes people feel Rolex, Dubai, whatever it is. Just feel for a feeling of one of those things.
Whether that's personal or... Yeah. It's quite deep.
Isn't it? Welcome to the podcast.
What way to start.
Welcome to the heart of it. So tell us who you are, where you come from, what you do.
Yep, Hans, where I come from, born and bred, Yorkshire. What do I do? Now, I've been very blessed to have or be the co-founder of Hubb, a nitro coffee company, which was founded approximately 3 years ago now. And I've been also very blessed to do that alongside my best friend. And yeah, I'm not going to get into the full journey. I'll let Nadir introduce himself and then maybe we can go from there.
Yeah, so Nadir, also born and bred in Yorkshire, the co-founder of Hubb. So this is what I do out of passion. And then I also work as well.
You don't work doing this?
It's a different type of work, isn't it?
What could you own it?
I work for the comfort and for all the other things, but this is really where the passion lies. This is what actually drives me versus what the day job is.
And so, like, let's go back a second. So it's Thursday now, but last Wednesday we met.
Yeah,
Wednesday.
Even though it feels like it was about 2 months ago.
It does, doesn't
I
it?
feel like I've known you a long time. It's like I spoke to one on the call yesterday on the phone.
Yeah.
Remember I was on that Zoom call in the car as you got in.
Yeah.
I spoke to them and they were like, "Yeah, no, last week." I was like, "No, I wasn't last week. I didn't mention it." No, last week.
Yeah, it's it.
So remind us back to last week. Tell us about how we met and what happened with the.
Well, that was great. I know that people don't know, but it was a great day. We got offered the opportunity. Hubb got offered the opportunity to get involved with Homeless FC, who, correct me if I'm wrong, are now trying to conquer, numerous cities with this project, with this wonderful project, getting the homeless involved in five-a-side. So we had the opportunity to go and play, which was good. It was nice to see Donnarumma dust his boots off. That was fun. But also as well, we got the opportunity to meet yourself, Ben, and obviously do some great work with you, which has led to this. And we had the privilege of having Adil Rashid, MBE, come down and kick about as well. His intention was never to play, Ben.
Well, he definitely played.
He certainly did.
Seriously?
He said just 5 minutes, and he played the full 60, I believe.
I couldn't believe it. Like, obviously, people told me, you told me he was there. And then someone else, another like former Premier League footballer was there.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is
David, yeah.
I was just like shaking people's hands, no clue.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh yeah, he left to go play for England now. Like,
Yeah.
the lad who was playing football a minute ago, playing for England for cricket. I was like, my mind was like, but he was playing a minute ago on a pitch with a homeless dog. What's going on?
Like, try to tackle him.
Yeah.
But yeah, really fulfilling day.
I keep telling people when you try and talk about the project, like there was something about it that I had this gut feeling about. Like there's somewhere it's gonna like just.
And in all
people.
honesty, Ben, sorry to cut you there, but I'd like to just give a quick shout out to Lee, who actually connected the dots. We met Lee at Daisy Hill, who obviously Hubb sponsor this year. And what a gentleman, like he rung me on numerous occasions, and he kept saying, he said, look, as a friend, I really recommend this. I really think it's going to be good. I think it's going to work for you. And thank goodness that I listened to him as well. Because
what made you listen to him?
I'm going to be honest here, and Nadir knows this, but this was the first financial decision I made without his approval ever on the journey. So Nadir was away, he was in Miami. And when Lee contacted me, look, without sounding crass, there's always a catch. And he said, it's money, we want to give back. The money's going to go to a great cause. And we're always keen to do that, and he mentioned the figure, and I was like, okay, I'm happy with the figure. And then he mentioned you. So I did a little bit, went away, I did a bit of research, but Lee was persistent. He was a typical salesman and bombarded me minutes after the phone call with pictures of the V-Class and stuff to do with you guys, the projects, etc., etc. Why did I say yes? It's because I truthfully had this feeling that there was going to be a good relationship. As soon as I saw what you guys did and the project of the homeless as well, then connect the dot with Lee and Daisy Hill, I just thought something feels right here. Maybe this was God's stepping stone. Daisy Hill, that was the first stepping stone. And look at the door, it's now opened. So I felt like I was being dangled a carrot. And without the permission of my main man, I said yes. So I'm going to take all the credit for this one, Nadir.
Yeah. But do you know what was really nice about last Wednesday was, so it was really kind of fulfilling, the actual playing football. To be honest, and I've said it, is just looking at people on a human level, because the reality is we would never really interact with some of those guys. So there was that, but then there's also this really stimulating conversation that filled us full of energy with yourself about business as well. So the day was kind of like
two very beautiful things. Very different things.
Yeah, like it. I had no expectation, no idea about any of it. So I get told a lot of stuff. So I heard Lee says a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
and so I did know that you'd sponsored Daisy Hill. I'd seen the cans there, but there's a really irritating buzz in the fire alarm sensor at Daisy Hill. So like everything that I was told in that room, I pretty much deleted.
Because you
were focused on that.
Yeah. But so I had that much information. I knew you'd obviously done the donation, and you guys were playing, and so I was obviously grateful for that. And we did the exchange, in the return for that. So I knew that was happening. Other than that, I had absolutely no further information. Apart from obviously you agreed with you, had a little chat. And then Mr. Skepticism over there.
Great name. That's a great name for him. Dr. Skepticism.
Yeah, Dr. Skepticism. Don't forget the doctor. Yeah. How many letters you got after your name and before your name?
No, just two before. Oh, actually, 2 before, 3 after, I guess. If you
just 2.
But in fairness, because Hans had gone off and made this decision, he was being guarded.
He was?
Yeah, he was just like, look, you've got to be here on Wednesday. And I was like, what is it? And he's like, it's going to be something really good. So I kind of just turned up and I was just like what is this? Yeah. But he played a blinder, to be fair.
So what did you think it was?
I knew we were playing football. I knew it was like there's a homeless FC link, but I didn't know anything about the production. Didn't really know about obviously traveling with you in the V class as well, and the content creation. He kind of mentioned little snippets, but to be honest, you were doing it deliberately, weren't you?
Yeah, because I sometimes with Nadir, if I give him too much, gives him time to think and ponder. And when he thinks and ponders, he might say no.
Mm.
So, which is good. That's why this journey and this works. But I didn't want him to say no on this one. So I just kind of dangle that carrot, say, mate, it's just a bit of 5-side. Just chill out. You know, give some money to the homeless, mate. You'll be fine. Right? that was my play. And but also dress nice, you know, which he always does. Yeah.
So interesting because we had, I can't remember who, I think we left David Lloyd Trafford on the morning towards you guys.
Yeah.
And obviously I knew nothing. So I can't remember who said this over there. I think it must have been someone in the front because they said it over the speaker, I think. So I said, well, maybe they're like me because I would absolutely, like I did with the Homeless FC thing. I was like, fuck it, throw some money in. Like, sounds good idea.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's put some shirts together, whatever. And kind of, it sounds like you kind of went on the same whim of like,
absolutely,
let's just do something.
Yeah.
It seems like obviously that's kind of how, not whim, but you've been quite progressive in some of your...
Especially in that sector. You know, giving is part of our culture. You know, it's part of what we do. It's something that I will always want to do in the future. I'm sure Nadir will as well. We've done it a lot on the journey, actually. So really, there was no strings attached. Whether it turned out to be a phenomenal affair, fine. If it didn't, well, we've done something good.
Yeah.
So I think that's what helped it, actually. And the way Lee delivered that message was very, very important. He opened with Homeless FC. He didn't open with, you know, you're going to meet Ben and this is...
I don't think that's actually new because I don't think that was actually the plan.
Maybe not.
I don't think that was the plan. I don't think it was. It wasn't my...
Maybe not. Yeah, maybe not. I'm not sure. I just got told bit of content, but the bulk of it is this is what we're doing for the homeless. And
I think
that's the dangle, the carrot that dangle for Nad.
That's interesting. I think we've reached out to obviously companies to see if they want to sponsor, whether it's put money in or whatever, and then play football with them, and then see if there's a relationship to build with that company with media services and stuff like that. It's a good hello. Yeah. It's obviously all things are kind of like you guys quite see open to opportunity. But yeah, I absolutely did not expect to then walk in to the store and then have the conversation. Certainly with you. Well, obviously, I was just asking the questions. I've got no clue. One, you know, I'm not really... I say a coffee drink. I drink one coffee a day at David Lloyd, as I said. Yeah. I don't really know the industry. Not a beverage guy in that sense.
So it was new to you that day as well?
Totally new to me. Obviously, then just like an avid learner, I'm like, oh, tell me the fucking economics. And I'm like, oh. And then I'm just interested, genuinely interested.
Yeah.
And then we went down the rabbit hole, right?
Yeah, I think the curiosity is a really refreshing conversation to have there. Because you're not asking from you don't really have a position that you're asking from.
Yeah.
It's just you're genuinely curious. And then it forces us to actually think a bit and explain our business, what the vision is, why we're doing it from the ground up. And that's, I think, genuinely what we really enjoy. And we probably don't have an opportunity to do enough of that. And then, we went in all different directions.
Yeah, that's very true. There's usually an agenda with conversations, or it comes from a different place sometimes. But I think because you didn't know, we didn't know. I think maybe that's what made it work as well.
Yeah, it's like sales conversations. If you don't care about getting a sale or not, it tends to be like a much more powerful conversation. Because you don't take it or leave it. I wasn't trying to sell anything. I was just talking about the coffee. I just thought.
And no real bias as well. So whether gender or bias, it's like there wasn't a viewpoint that you have to push back against, so you have to try to change. It was, how do we help you create your viewpoint on what we do? I think that's what was so enjoyable.
First, you got to listen though, right? Because I don't know what questions they're asking because I don't know what your viewpoint is. Like, well, what made you choose that then? Not good. Why did you choose that? Is nothing wrong with? I don't know. I don't know if it's wrong or right. I don't know. Clue.
No, we've had it from the other side as well. You know, we've had it where we've met people and immediately they might pick up the can or know about us and they give their opinion. So, you know, you can have it from a point where it's like, this is a cool thing, guys, you know, and then you get into a conversation, or you can have it from the opinion of that.
Do you think that's just fucking ego? Like, I don't know if I have an. I think I must have an opinion, but the first question, I don't know what exact first question. Like, what do people say about the design? That's what I'd ask, because that's a data point.
Yeah, I just want to say something on this, because one of the moments that, you know, it didn't cut me deep, but it was a learning curve for me, maybe not for Nadir, he's been through it a million times, was we were at an event once, and I'm not going to say where if that's okay, but we were at an event, and it was a business event, right, for loads of different brands. And we met a gentleman there, and he came over and said, oh, you know, congratulate. He knows what I'm on about, that's why he's laughing. We met a gentleman, he came over, he said, oh, is that you guys over there, all them cans on that table? Wow, it looks amazing, like, cool, is this what you do, rah, rah. Picked up the can. And this is in the first 30 seconds of the conversation. He said, do you know what I do?
You know, there's something very strange particularly when it's a product business,
Yes.
I think more so when it's food or drink, for whatever reason, people think that they can offer their opinion in the first interaction. But
no, that's just a
and I
food
was
drink
quite,
thing.
I was just
think
very,
I think people think that their opinion matters.
yeah, without sounding disrespectful.
I know you're a bit douche, but like,
yeah.
Even my opinion. Who? Not sure if I like red. Fucking so what?
Yeah.
So
Well, this
Well,
is-
yeah, without being rude about it, yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
so what?
But
Like,
this is part of the journey. Is if let's say we are really successful with Hubb, so some people look at this and they're like, oh, "I really like this. It's minimal. Like it looks modern. It looks sleek." Some people look at it and say, "Oh, it looks a bit undesigned. It's like it needs to be bold and have some patterns on there." But if we're successful going down this route, it will get to a point in time where we'll have enough brand recognition that people recognize the aesthetic or the name or the red logo as Hubb. So we've been successful in our journey.
Yeah.
But it's when you're in the early days where everybody has an opinion. And it's the same with Pod First. Like we could offer you some criticisms. I don't have any to offer, but we could. But it doesn't matter because once you reach a critical mass, it is what it is.
Well, but then
not relevant, is
but
it?
then Jeff Bezos said, as soon as someone offers you a piece of criticism, the first thing you've got to do is look in the mirror and go, are they right?
Yeah. And that's important because you have to have the objectivity.
Because like I was measuring the data points, just use Jeff again, said, oh, we measure the metrics of packaging, but what if our measuring metrics process is wrong?
Yeah, and it could be.
So like this, as soon as you say is the can design, I'm like, why don't we just get 42 different mock-ups and run them as Facebook ads and see which people click more on which one? Because then the answer will be clear to the audience. Versus, I like the purple.
Yeah.
But
What does that look at me?
But there is a lot of thought that goes into something like this. So there's like the minimal label trend. I think we discussed it last week. It's minimal. It signifies it being more of a natural product. It gives it a slight premium edge, and you can see brands being very successful going down a similar route. But then, to your point as well, it's very important. And Hans kind of said, because I've been down this path before. You have to maintain objectivity if you can. And you can't be too wed to or too defensive of your brand.
Can't have that emotional attachment to it.
Because we've gone to retailers now.
It's hard, isn't it, though? But you can't.
But we're on our 4th generation of packaging about to launch. Yeah. The general concept is the same, but you have to sit there and you have to listen to the feedback. And the retailers recently have said, like we sit in a room like this and we say, this is why Hubb and this is what we do and this is what makes us different, etc., etc. And they're like, that's fantastic. Love the story, love the product, can see what it's going to do in the category. But you've not told us any of that.
Where is that?
Yeah. So then that's when we take it away and we got to self-reflect and say, actually, they're right. We were wrong. What we're going to do to fix it. And I think
on
that's
the can?
Yeah.
Correct, yeah.
Like, so right now, like I said, we're literally just about to launch, but there's...
Well, that's because that's the leaning towards it's a brand-led play. Because you want people to walk in knowing they're looking for Hubb.
True, but also how do you probably get into this? How do you capture those people? If our goal is to capture them on a supermarket shelf, there's like such little dwell time. The packaging has to do a lot of the heavy lifting, and the front of the packaging has to do a lot of the heavy lifting. We have to at least tell people it's specialty grade coffee. It's 100% natural ingredients. It's XY. It's gut friendly. It's also functional. It's low in calories. We have to communicate that.
If you only get that one shot.
Yeah. But then through other channels, online, etc., you probably afforded more of an allowance to tell the story or to build a brand affinity. But at the end of the day, for us, it's about sales.
It's like a pie chart. I mean, from obviously your actual work, like it's like a pie chart of like breakdown of buyers and the reason they buy. For example, in a retail outlet, how many people of those people have not seen Hubb before and picked up Hubb because of the packaging? How many people D2C actually bought that because they saw you in the podcast or they saw that placement in that can and therefore they know the brand origin story and that's why they bought? How many people bought for the taste? How many bought for the calories? How many bought because of that one thing that we think they're buying for versus actually not what they're buying for?
It's tough. How do you measure those metrics? I think what we need to do is we need to play into our strengths. So we know where we're strong and we know where we could be better. So our main focus is scaling B2B business at the moment. We know D2C, we should be loads better. But because we're focusing on B2Bs, then right, what is that discovery piece going to be like? What's going to force somebody to pick up that can? And I genuinely think the minimal label works because if you put that in a sea of noise, it actually stands out. But yeah, we need to communicate effectively in the space of seconds why this product against the next one. So I think it's a very valid question that you asked, but it's where does our focus go?
That's a hard thing, isn't it?
Because on the D2C side, I think from a messaging point of view, you can go harder with the messaging. You can bring in affiliates, you can bring in brand ambassadors more. So if we wanted to go down the health route, we could bring in an athlete and have them drinking it on a meta ad, let's say. That does a lot of the communication with actually.
Yeah.
And that's where it gets.
And I think we're strong in that area.
But then also back to what we were saying before we even came on record about subsets. You could do something like we obviously go off again back into business strategy here, but like you got different cultures and different looking people in the ads all drinking a can, because it's like then back to the community like we spoke about last week, bringing them together. Because back to what it stands for, coffee, what you said, the running thread, like if you guys were to do a show, the running thread would not be the coffee is not about coffee. It's not like, oh, what's your favorite blend? It's like the coffee is the glue that brings the conversation.
Correct.
In a coffee shop. And therefore, you know, athlete drinking it or school kid or coffee, but you know what I mean? Different.
Every walk of life, if you like.
Every walk, race, gender, person drinking in a video then brings togetherness.
Yes.
So then how do you bring togetherness without actually saying anything?
And that's the bit where we're on now. You know, like when we mentioned earlier as well about how we appeal to, you know, the female crowd, and at the moment we're a little bit aligned with sort of the masculine side of things. Like you mentioned, Coca-Cola, you know, for example, they play on happiness. But also there was a period, wasn't there, with Diet Coke that was leaning all towards women. You know,
the window cleaner, topless and stuff.
Genuinely, all of that. It was leaning towards women. No man they found ever picked up the Diet Coke can because of the ads and everything leaning towards them. So they created what? Coke Zero, which is red and masculine, and it's the same thing essentially. So we do have to focus on
it. Is it the same thing? Because Coke Zero does taste different.
Yeah, we love it with Coke Zero.
Yeah,
Coke Zero is way better than Coke.
Yeah,
I think you can go in different directions though.
Does it piss you off though when you say Coke Zero and someone says Diet Coke? You're like,
no, actually Coke Zero. That's why I asked.
That's why I'm like that. I'm like,
but that's so interesting because that just shows that Coca-Cola have done it right as well. They've created that gap.
The word means something.
Yeah.
But you know, it's very interesting when you start to play in this field in beverage. Is you feel that Diet Coke and Coke Zero taste very different, and I think they do too. Yeah. But a lot of taste comes from your perception.
Yeah, so true.
So I could lead you a bit. We could do a coffee tasting, and I could say, "Oh, can you taste the hints of dark chocolate, or can you taste the dried fruit,
and
or
you'd start saying yes."
And you'd be like, "Yeah, actually, yeah, I do. I
Come
do
to
get
think
that."
of it.
That's flavors very.
See,
very
this is
weird
an interesting one. I don't know if you remember Shark energy drink.
No, I can't remember it.
So there's a bar company I used to work for years and years ago, big one, and they did a taste testing. That's why they chose Shark. I imagine Shark.
Was it a silver can with blue writing?
It may have been, but it was on the gun, wasn't it? So obviously I just drunk it on the doors.
Oh, right, that's interesting.
And so apparently I was told by someone big at the company that this is a taste testing thing the board chose. I'm imagining it was also cheaper than Red Bull. And but I preferred it. It was sort of sweeter. I didn't really like Red Bull as a taste. I do like the Shark. I also drunk a lot of it on, you know, piss is green and you're very, very awake. But if you'd have asked me, I would have preferred Shark taste. But again, then put me in a room where you've asked me about the economics of it, I'd say Red Bull is worth more.
Yeah.
Because back to what you say, taste on perception, but also price change your perception between that £1 bottle of water.
Of course it does.
£4 bottle of water. Like the £4 bottle of water.
Of course it does.
Better.
Of course it does. What did you do today in the general store? We were going past the water and Nadir said, "Oh, should we get a Voss?" Yeah.
Brand.
Means something, doesn't it?
Having that in your hand is different to having, you know, Evian or Highland Spring, right?
That brand. It's identity. You know, if that meant if that didn't mean what it means, you wouldn't do it.
You wouldn't do it.
Well, you know what? The thing that really drives a consumer's purchase intention is it's not just what the product does. Like we think we have the best tasting canned coffee in the market. Having an exceptional product isn't good enough. It's also what the product means to somebody. It's value, and that's what brand is. It's intangible value. But that's why you'll gravitate towards maybe Red Bull, or why you might have an Apple phone over a Samsung, or whatever it may be. It's what it actually means.
Apple phone, because I don't want to be a loser.
No, that's exactly.
Join us next week for the debate.
Then, let's say I presented the two, took the logos off, and I say, phone one, it's got this mega. I'm going to butcher this because I'm not a tech guy, but it's got this megapixel camera, it's got this processing speed or whatever, and phone two's got this. There'll be a phone out there that beats the iPhone in every metric, but we're not buying it because it's the experience and what the brand means to us.
100%.
And then that kind of.
But it is two things, right? It is the fact as soon as they put an Apple sticker on it, I'm like,
Oh yeah,
and also the way it works.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not about function. Well, it is about function, not about features, but it's a user experience.
Yeah.
This is still how you make you feel.
And like you said, Ben, what it represents. I think that's the key factor for me.
I've got an iPhone 17 Pro brand new in my bag. I've still not moved over from my old. Too busy to even move over to a new phone.
So if you were sat there with a Samsung Galaxy tab,
I'd
not
be
an iPad,
sick in my mouth.
well, we might be judging you.
Well, you should. And
I would.
I would be judging anybody who's got a Samsung. I do.
Yeah.
I'm going to go on.
But it does make you feel. It's an identity.
Yeah, it is.
You're saying, I want to be like you. We are the same.
I find that fascinating.
Someone gets that a Microsoft computer. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah. It's like when Nadir brought the Acer.
The Dell.
Yeah, the Dell.
Yeah, but we were on a budget. Come on.
Yeah, we were.
But then an interesting point is, like, so you look at Apple. The brand means something, and it's also how it works and how it stitches together with your iPad, or your Apple Watch, or your Apple TV, and all that stuff. So that's more about your user experience over time and how valuable that is. Even us as a brand, we can take learnings from that, because yes, we don't have a user experience. You're going to consume it. You're going to hopefully enjoy it, and you're going to buy it again. But then the brand is our user experience. It's then between you drinking that can and you drinking the next one in 3-4 days, what are we delivering as a brand that helps build that value, that connection to us? And then you go back into content and story and what we're trying to deliver.
But then it's all weaving into one, right? Because the people who drink the can, back to what we said about Apple, because you know someone else has got one.
Yeah.
So it's like, if someone else was drinking this in David Lloyd, West Bridgeford tomorrow,
yeah,
I'd be like, oh, you know the guys?
Yeah.
So what it signifies to me is obviously friendship, from obviously what we met last week. And so there's a story there. As in, like, it means that to me. Because I obviously know you guys.
Yeah.
And I like you guys. So I'm like, if I saw someone else with it, I'd be like, they're a friend of mine because they're a friend of yours.
Wow, that's quite interesting. Yeah.
And that's really what we're doing. When you look at the internet, like, we obviously discuss the new tonic a lot.
Yeah.
Like, they've done that and I like them. And so anyone drinking that is inadvertently saying, I like those guys and you like what those guys like. Yeah. So we must be somewhat alike.
We're in a similar lane.
Similarly.
Yeah.
And that's interesting because of the name as well of the product. Maybe that's what we always wanted to achieve as well. Not necessarily for everyone to like us. You know, you don't have to like us. I'm sure there's many people that don't, but it's that affiliation that you mentioned. Yeah.
But I think, and you asked a question, how do you really solidify what the message is? And I think there's two things you can do. You can be extremely strategic and have loads of money and hammer it into people like Coke, or you can just be authentic. And obviously, as a bootstrapping startup, founder-led brand, I think the authenticity is the route we have to go down, and that probably does lead to that feeling of friendship and togetherness because that's genuine. That's what the brand's built on.
Yeah, absolutely.
You want to it's like in software called a product-led business, a product model where the product is self-fulfilling.
Yeah, self-fulfilling, self-perpetuating. Yeah.
And so then how do you get a can in one, like we was talking last week, how do you get a can in one person's hand and one can turns into 20 cans across their friends because they share the cans?
Which we have seen, but it's how we build that.
But what you don't measure can't be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can't be grown.
It's tough, even at a smaller scale. So we brought on those retailers recently in Manchester, General Stores, where we met, and the sales are great. But even there, it's two locations, two fantastic locations, but it's two locations, and we're kind of blown away by how many cans each store is selling, but we don't know who's buying them.
Yeah, we
don't know if it's one person is buying 5 to get them through the week, or just because of the footfall of the store. Every so often somebody's grabbing one, and that's where it gets hard.
That's the back to you said about focus. I think data has to be the primary focus, because whatever you do, stores, D2C, B2B, podcast,
it all boils down to data.
Yeah.
Well, D2C is great because it's a channel that we're weak in the sense of we know our website's not optimized. We don't run any meta ads currently, but we see repeat custom. So the sales that we are making, we're making a decent amount of sales. We've got subscriptions on there, or we can go on somebody's profile and see they've placed 12 orders. So we get the data there in snippets, and obviously if we grow that function of the business, hopefully we can see more of that. But yeah, in the real B2B world, how do you do it? How do you install a feedback loop into a product like this? Or how do you get
community in it?
Yeah,
that's what we said. How do we get this on the app? Just like some form of tracker it's the simple MVP models, technology-wise, that could run something in a low-cost way, because we need them to want to subscribe. There's two parts, technology-wise to enable it, but there's a want to do it. Because if people want to pick this up and join something,
Yeah.
because they're getting like back to the identity pieces. One leads to the other. The brand means something to somebody, and we can make it mean what we choose it to mean, and then we then drive that to then. If you want to join the club, as it were, how do they take the step?
And also, how do you reward them? How do you thank them? I think that's a big part of it as well, the journey.
That's sort of surprise and delight stuff, right? How do you incorporate the things that it's like a...
We've had it in the general store recently when I was visiting that somebody, I sort of said, oh, take a can, someone knows I see that you drink iced coffee. And she said, oh, no, it's okay. She went, I order off Amazon every other day. But then in my head, I'm thinking, well, why don't I know that?
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. That we have to know every single person.
Do you get what I mean? Like, why don't I know that? How do I know that?
It's similar, like we kind of said this about like you can give someone a card, like one stamp, here's a free one. And when you get 5, you buy the rest of them, you get another one. Whatever. There's sort of gimmicky free coffee cards that people give. Yeah. But how do you get them to that? That is the biggest thing already.
Do you know what's a crazy one as well? And it happens quite often, is people say, I don't want a stamp card. I don't want a free coffee. I'm a customer.
Yeah, I love
what you do.
That's what I said.
I'm going to continue. Yeah.
I left you guys and bought them straight away.
Yeah.
I don't even drink. I'm not going to drink it. I might try the nitro coffee in the morning, but to try and change my routine is very difficult.
Yeah, but you're Ben. That's just you, isn't it?
So you drink a black coffee with a bit of sweetener?
Correct.
Would you ever drink something cold?
I don't know if I've ever had a cold coffee, but I don't like normal Americano cold. Like if it went cold, I'm like,
well, this is a smoother taste than that. I'd drink it cold.
Yeah,
ice cold.
On ice, yeah.
I could go into a proper sales pitch now.
Please.
Well, so for somebody like yourself,
sexy, handsome, good looking,
our target customer. No, so our coffee is cold brewed, and I won't go into what that actually means. But we have a patented process, and it means that there's a lot of very beneficial compounds in coffee that our process retains. Mm-hmm. So your hot Americano in the morning, you lose a lot of that because of the temperature and how it's brewed. Whereas something like this is full of chlorogenic acid and lipids, so stuff like for sustained energy and your cognition. It's actually more beneficial than drinking an Americano would be for you. So there is a function to it. It's got a bit of a prebiotic gut fiber in it.
So should I walk you through I won't bore you to death with all the things I do. I take Space Goods mushroom coffee when I wake up. Because it's caffeine extract, no caffeine, because I delay the caffeine 90 minutes after I wake up for the adenosine receptors to burn.
Yeah.
And then I have a new tonic, NAD pen. That's similar to our time.
Do you feel, sorry to...
The NAD?
Yeah.
Oh, incredible. Yeah, I told you because I know the guy who owns the company.
I didn't know that, but I went down that rabbit hole recently, a couple of years ago.
The NAD,
NMN.
Yeah, so I take tablets, but the NAD drips are one thing, but this is a pen.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, I came back from London for the Wednesday I saw you the Saturday, and I was knackered midway through the day. Took 5 at the IU because it's double strength pen, and like all afternoon I was like in the Matrix. And it's the most I've taken it every morning, but usually I'm kind of productive then. I took it halfway through the day, and I was like night and day different.
Like a limitless pill almost, yeah.
Literally like that.
Because they're using it in the military, aren't they? For like super soldiers.
Yeah.
Anyway, I interrupted your routine, so.
And then train off that new tonic, and then have my coffee from David Lloyd, Americano small, 4 ice cubes, stevia sweetener, at 8 o'clock. Not 8 o'clock.
So you ingest a decent amount of caffeine in the morning.
Yeah, because that was the new tonic. It's 120.
Yeah. This is me personally. We're getting older now. I'm getting more delicate. I really struggle with synthetic caffeine now, and I crash. Do you ever get that?
I've got ADHD, right? So I take ADHD medication in the morning. So I'm trying to time everything to sort of like the circadian rhythm and then the ultradian rhythm between that to try and time my 90-minute sort of concentration blocks with a 20-minute then reload, deload. And so I try and almost time it on one of the ones that's peaking on the way up because I can crash. If I had too much caffeine, I'll just fucking sleep.
I'm like, I flipped. That's how I am now. It's crazy.
It's really strange how it works.
I can't sit in your category, boys. I drink a lot of coffee in the day and I feel fine.
Like Steve can drink a Red Bull, go to bed. I'm like, mate, if I drink that now, I'm awake all night.
I used to be like, I used to have coffee before bed. Weirdly, if I'm on holiday, I can do it.
Stress and pressure, yeah. You're half awake for the next day.
Holiday, outside warm weather, have dinner, have a coffee, I'm fine. But now, on a work day, if I drink more than 2 cans and I drink my second one too late, I just get tired, get less productive. Not 2 cans, just have like multiple coffees.
Yeah, multiple coffees, yeah.
It's a balancing act, isn't it?
It is. And look,
foods,
I do still
food.
feel it should be for the morning. You know, I still do feel that way about caffeine, especially with them sort of stats that I reeled off to you yesterday about, you know, how it.
What about the warmth thing, right? Cold coffee. There's that study where they put a warm drink in someone's hand in New York, cold drink in someone's hand, and then ask them a story about the characters in a book they ask them to read. The people who had the warm drink talk about the characters being warm, friendly stuff, and the ones who have cold drink talk about them being cold.
Well, so it's more of a generational thing from our perspective. Warm coffee is we're probably on the upper echelon of the iced coffee drinker, but people a bit older than us, their introduction to coffee was warm. And as a nation, we've not been drinking coffee for that long.
Yeah.
You know, we're
Been
just
behind,
seeing,
really.
yeah, we're just seeing it really take precedent now. But your younger generation, particularly your Gen Z, is their introduction to coffee is cold. So when you look at the statistics of like warm coffee versus cold coffee sold in the UK, I think they're pretty much at a par. Cold coffee is vastly outgrowing warm coffee. It's less cyclical than you'd imagine. So there are people that will migrate from warm to cold in summer, but there's a cohort of iced coffee drinkers year round. I'm in that. You probably fluctuate a bit.
Yeah, I fluctuate.
So it's a generational thing. That's where, getting back to the business, that's where we saw the window of opportunity was the growth of cold coffee and the lack of people actually doing the job at it.
Interesting.
In a can.
So back to my pie chart explanation or question. Do we have like mobile phones now? If we start a mobile phone company, we can't get any new customers. We get existing customers from someone else.
Yeah.
Is that the same as coffee? Is there new customers in coffee, or is there like non-coffee drinkers or warm coffee drinkers that are like?
It's interesting about the non-coffee drinkers because we've done a lot of research in the past. When we first ever started Hubb, we used to go sort of, out into the cities and do taste testing. And we did get a lot of people who said, "Oh, no, I don't drink coffee." And, the coffee virgin, if you like, will say, well, this is a great introduction to coffee. So we have changed minds. I would say that.
Yeah,
sure.
A lot of it's quite anecdotal. It's a small sample size, but we definitely see that. I mean, our sales guy, he's like staunch, not a coffee drinker. And then he's messaged us this week saying, why is it out of stock on Amazon?
Yeah.
He's like, because
I need my daily coffee.
Yeah. And then we have seen a shift of warm coffee drinkers to cold coffee drinkers. Yeah. So probably shouldn't look at it this way, but considering a warm coffee drinker, I probably think of somebody slightly older. It's really broad brush. But we've definitely seen people move across.
Yeah, definitely.
And also one of the things that we've seen from operating our own shops, our own venues, is that you have kids drinking coffee now.
Yeah, we've seen that.
We've seen like probably 7 or 8 year olds coming in.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Can I get a decaf iced latte?
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, it's kind of like it can be like a milkshake equivalent for kids. The amount of syrups and all the other stuff that you can add to these coffees now, essentially it's like a sweet treat. And that is a great starting point to intro into coffee, in my opinion. When I was very, very young, we spoke about it in the past as well, I was introed into coffee from a very young age. I was that weird child who liked coffee and walnut cake, but I just loved the taste. I genuinely loved that taste of coffee, but with that sweetness. So like in a cake, for example. And I think there is a cohort of kids from that generation who are buying into this. Like Nadir said, 8, 9, 10 we've seen coming and ordering drinks like that.
And you've got to look at what's going on in culture in general. People are drinking less. People are going to the pub less.
1 in 3, was it? Between 18 and 35?
Yeah, 1 in 3 young people are teetotal.
Yeah.
I think it's 1 in, and it's something similar. With
1 in 5, I think it wasn't it, millennials? Yeah.
So then it's what other occasions are there for people to socialise? And look at what's pop culture now. Gym, coffee's kind of being glamorized.
Well, like we said, entrepreneurship's cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Cold coffee needs to be cool then.
Yeah, so it's being healthy, getting your shit together, grinding. That's all cool now. Not going out and getting absolutely wrecked.
It's
in general.
It's like smoking it. People if someone said to smoke, you're like,
yeah. If I said, I need to go out for a cigarette, you'd probably look a bit sideways.
You'd wince a little bit, wouldn't you?
Who still smokes?
Yeah, who still smokes? Yeah, because it was a social thing, wasn't it? Exactly. So back to what you said about coffee. Coffee's a social thing.
And this culture, like Nadir said earlier, it's only just coming here. So, we're hopefully on that upward trajectory. But you go to the Arab world or go to Australia or even the US, this is what they do, man. This is what they do.
Well, yeah, because if you're in Dubai, I don't want a hot coffee. It'd be fucking hot as
Yeah, but you'd be
What?
surprised. Go out in an evening for a bit of dinner, and people are still sipping on coffee up until 12 o'clock at night.
Yeah, I'm like wearing a vest and shorts, trying to not
survive.
retain
Yeah.
some water, and people in full get up. I'm like, how are you
Yeah.
dressed that way?
It's
so hot.
It was like that when I was in Miami, and it was like 30 degrees, but it was like majorly humid.
Mm.
So my family live in Dubai, so I'm there once, twice a year, so I'm like used to being in the heat. But Miami, for whatever reason, the sun felt really strong, and it was majorly humid, and there's people walking around in like
Suits.
hoodie and jeans. I'm like, what? Like,
You become accustomed to it, though,
Yeah.
don't you?
You do, yeah.
You do.
So Hubb started 3 years ago.
Yes.
Tell us, from Yorkshire lads, how we started Hubb.
We might have different stories, but I feel like they should be similar. Truthfully, I know
to frame it.
for me, I knew I was in a place in life where I was sick of working for the man, if you want to put it that way, corporate, all of that kind of jazz. Truthfully, I'm going to go a bit deep, but I think on the outside it looks good. I didn't really want to be seen as a failure in any shape or form. Maybe to society, maybe also to family. I always wanted to be seen. All right, okay, carries a briefcase and wears a suit and goes to work. Must be doing something right. So maybe there was a bit of that as well, image attached to it. But also the money was very good, and at the time it helped me to support myself and family, etc. But I found it very difficult because I was doing something that I didn't want to do, Ben. And at the end of the day, every day rolling out of bed, I'm already thinking of excuses. Other than the paycheck at the end of the month, I didn't understand what I was doing. I didn't know why I was in that industry because I didn't love it. Me and Nadir had a little bit of time apart. Might have been a few years actually, where we didn't really see each other that much. Work commitments, family. He had a very demanding role at the time as well. And I knew that I was close to calling it a day. And I just thought, right, I need to just get into something of my own anyway. So the best way to de-stress for me was to get out the house and go hit the driving range. So I took the clubs and I set up, and I was on form, man. I was hitting clean that day. And thank God I was, because somebody witnessed it. I think it might have been a 3-iron. And I just hit an absolute sweet as a nut. Can't remember the yardage. And I know for a fact that he walked in and he saw that. And he thought, who's hit that sweet as a nut? Absolutely straight down the fairway. And lo and behold, it was the old friend Hans. And we got chatting. I said, bro, not seen you for a while. We always stayed in touch, but I was like, good to see you in this environment. What have you come for, Nadir? I've also come to de-stress and hit a few balls. And then we got chatting. It started off with a bit of a conversation in the car park about, oh yeah, I know what you're doing. You're obviously working over here with Salt, and it's a high-end, role and demanding and getting pulled from pillar to post. I said a similar thing. Then it led to, well, we both like golf and we're both quite stressed out right now. Should we maybe, head out to Vila Moura and play some golf in Portugal for a little while? And what an eventful trip that was.
Yes, it was, yeah.
Nadir really enjoyed that trip. So yeah, that was eventful, and I made some major errors on that trip that probably didn't reassure Nadir about my decision making.
That's why I was skeptical when we were coming to meet you, because planning isn't always your strong suit. But anyway,
yes, flashing in the pan. But nevertheless, we went away and we had some good conversation to sort of say, well, look, we want to do our own thing. We both love coffee. Had a very good understanding of coffee, I'd like to say as well. Some people just enjoy a beverage, but they don't understand it. And I think we had that understanding. And they said, look, something I've always wanted to do is have my own coffee company and look to start canning cold brew. I've played around with it a little bit, and do you think it's something you want to get involved with? And I said, well, yeah, that's a passion project and a half, because I love coffee, and finally I can get away from this corporate world and go do something that I love with someone that I love, pardon the cliche. So it worked. We went away, came home, started piecing things together, and I'll never forget the day actually where Nadir sort of said, I think we're ready, Hans. I think you need to hand your notice in, man. Like, let's do it. Let's pull together the money that we have and try and execute this concept. We'll start off by opening a small shop. And as much at the time, I did actually quite like where I worked. I had some good friends there. But I've never had a feeling like it, actually, when I did hand my notice in. For two reasons. One is that I never, ever knew where this was going to go. So it was the age-old thing of risk, which I thrive off. I quite like it, looking over my shoulder. I quite like that. So it's the risk element, but it was also the fact that I'm about to, cut the shackles, if you like, of that corporate working for the man, relying on you, putting every ounce of effort into something that I'm actually never going to see, the light at the end of the tunnel for. So it's a very nice feeling to slide that document across and say, thank you and good night. And that was it. We started the new chapter together. Halifax Hubb was the first shop that we opened, small little shop down in Dean Clough. The plans were already in place for this. I don't think we knew how quickly we'd bring this to light after having that shop.
Yeah, and how well it came together in the early days.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, I didn't know you were going to go down the golf route, because you obviously asked a question. I'm sat here thinking, similar story, weirdly, because
apart from it was a shit golf hit.
Yes.
No, but so I've been in beverage for quite a while. So I kind of spearheaded the launch of a startup in 2018, and it's a very successful brand, continues to be successful. That night in question, I don't know exactly where the business was, but definitely achieved a level of success, and probably nationally known brand.
Yeah, 100%.
A couple of £1 million revenue or more. I sat down with the owner of the business. So I had a share option in it, but it was owned by somebody else. I sat down with the owner of the business, and I was sat there ready to give my notice in. And he must have seen it coming. And he offered me, I was a managing director of one brand of the group. And in that conversation, he offered me the role of managing director of the total group. So I was like, fuck's sake, I was just about to quit. And I've got this massive carrot in front of me. I need to go make sense of this. Go up to the driving range.
There it is.
Yeah. And like Hans said, we hadn't seen each other for a while for whatever reason. And I just walked in, and he was just there. And I think he said to me, so I can see you kind of carrying something here. Anyway, fast forward a bit. I took on that group managing director role. Didn't enjoy it. I just stopped enjoying the job, so I didn't enjoy it. Probably was there for another couple of years. And then it just got to the point of, right, I've been successful. I've ticked the boxes. I earn really good money. I'm at the helm of quite a big, decent sized company. I ticked all these boxes, but it's not right. So you know what? Fuck it, quit. So I chose to quit before we really had really kind of formulated itself. And then a few months into the notice period, I had quite a long notice period. I don't know. It just hit me one day. This is what we want to do. So yeah, the stories kind of do run side by side.
They do.
But it was a similar thing to what Hans was saying, was releasing the shackles, going against the grain of what you should do or what you think you should do.
What we're told to do, right?
Take the risk it all. Just got into a place where there's a little bit of work-life balance, where you've got more money than you probably thought you would have at 29 years old or whatever it was. Throw it all away, and actually go off and chasing happiness, chase enjoyment, chase fulfillment,
chase freedom, Ben.
Boy, it's freedom.
Earlier on when we spoke about it, we'll come back to this, but earlier on we spoke about what's at the end of that ladder. And I think the biggest thing is freedom.
I used to think freedom was like a weird thing. People talk about impact and freedom. And then I've had my freedom taken away from me for a period of time. And then freedom became like my go-to answer straight away.
But I
never said that before. I was like, freedom? I don't freak me out, free anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, what is freedom?
Well, it wouldn't allow this to happen, would it? If I bound into a 9 to 5, I'd be having to give a 2 weeks notice to have this conversation with you.
I can't even imagine that.
I think freedom is your...
Obviously, no one will give me a job either, to be fair.
It's your ability to just go off and chase your desires.
Yeah.
So, yeah, money falls into freedom because it gives you a level of freedom, or I'm saying freedom to define freedom, but it gives you a level of autonomy, or the means to go off and chase what you want to chase, but not being constricted in any way. And then I think the thing really, just taking it back to the business, that started to make sense was looking at the market, looking at the trends of the market, looking at what's out there from a competition point of view. Also internally looking at, well, what's my expertise? It's brewing. I've built and managed multiple brewing sites and scaled the brand from zero to multi-million-pound revenue. It felt like it was a bit of a hack. It felt like this was very familiar, an emerging market that's projected to grow. It's beverage. Well, I know how to put together a beverage. I know the operational side and production and all that stuff. I've dealt with supermarkets, whatever it was. So there's a level of comfort in it as well. So it is passion, but it's not just passion. There is a genuine business case for us to go chase this.
Yeah. I think that's important to know as well. Because maybe from the outside, people just might see it as, just boys like coffee, so they've just pieced this together. But there was a lot of thought that went behind it.
I mean, that's exactly what I thought. I mean, not that you said, but like, I've got the new Uber of coffee. Like,
yeah.
But if we laid out our deck to you
first,
and we looked at demographics, who's drinking it, growth, projected growth, etc., premiumization. We look at cross-category comparisons. So we're looking at premiumization of chocolate. We mentioned that last week with, I think, Tony's, or premiumization of cocktails in cans or other markets. Like, it's all painting a very nice picture to grow a successful business in what we call RTD, or ready to drink coffee. So we've got that beyond just the passion piece.
But for me, I was like, it was when I was first speaking, all three of us, and you told me the story about the red and the hub in terms of what the language means.
Yeah, absolutely. So Nadir's late father, he's actually one of my inspirations. And actually, I had a bit of a conversation the other day with somebody, and I got quite emotional about it because he was very influential on me when I was young. And obviously, I can't even imagine, for Nadir, obviously, with it being his father, but he's spent a lot of time in the Middle East, and maybe I shouldn't use that term. I know it's a bit colonial, but anyway, spent a lot of time in the Middle East and had an influence from there, as does Nadir, coming from an Algerian background as well. There was always this slight, Middle Eastern influence. And even when it came to naming the brand and going down that route, we went through all sorts, Ben. Like, I'm not kidding you. Sometimes I go back in our WhatsApp thread and I'm just like, what the hell were we thinking? But Nadir made a great point. I remember the phone call like it was yesterday. It might have even been a voice note, and I hope I can pull it up for you, where he just said, well, we're saying all these names, but what the hell does that mean to us? Like, we went down a Japanese route, and then we tried to go over here and go over there, and then we were just like, what does it mean? And actually, look, this means something to us both in different ways. Now, Hubb, as I mentioned to you before, Ben, means love in Arabic. But like Nadir loves to say as well, in English, it's that hub, the community, the base. There's a lot of facets to Hubb. Love of coffee, love of the relationship. Like you mentioned earlier, if you see someone in David Lloyd's with it, it's that there is a little, there is absolutely. So I think there's a lot of meaning to that. But for me personally, on a personal note, my biggest things are this guy. I don't always say it to him, so his head's big enough as it is. But
you've had somebody cry in your podcast before. We might get that today.
Yeah, well, this guy, look, truthfully, and I don't say it to him. I don't always get the opportunity to say it to him, but it is love of our relationship. 27 to 28 years of friendship. It's a long time living and being in each other's houses, going through quite a lot actually together, seeing all different sides of life together. He's seen me at my worst, seen me at my best. I'll probably say the same for him, the other way around. I've been at his wedding. He's given speeches on my behalf. He's been there when I've had family problems. Nadir has always been a phone call away, even if I never saw him for a period of time, whether he was doing whatever and I was doing whatever. And actually, without sounding cliche and getting the tissues out, this for me isn't just about the coffee. This is a love between two lads who have been through thick and thin together from day one and actually created something hopefully quite incredible.
How does it make you feel to him talk about it like that?
Do you know what? You always notice there. And it's not a friendship. It's genuinely we are. It's like we're brothers, so we hate each other sometimes as well. But you know it's there. But I think recently, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's a maturity thing as well. I think we're coming more in tune with emotions as well, and our ability to communicate them. So we probably 5 years ago we definitely wouldn't have spoken like this. But it's not a shock, but it's always nice to hear that.
Is that some sort of masculinity thing?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. But
look, we're not Andy's Man Club, and we're not, here to deliver speeches on how men should talk openly, etc. We're not. But all I can say is, like what Nadir's, and I'll second that. The older I get, I just feel more and more comfortable being able to speak about that openly. I'm not ashamed of it.
Do you think more? It's culture. Do you think more as you get older, you start to realize, like we said about people going to judge you no matter what you do. Anyway.
Yeah, of course.
But also, like you lose people through loss of life, but also just like friendships, relationships break down, things happen, and then you realize there's a very small amount of people in the world that you can want to talk to.
Tiny, this big, tiny, absolutely tiny.
This show is a Podfirst production. Podfirst specialise in cinematic, high-quality video media production and podcasts, including projects such as viral social media content for business owners and entrepreneurs, internal communications for organisations, and charity incentives like Homeless FC. Managing and directing the project from start to finish. So whether it's pre and post-production, branding, guest selection and booking, set design, social media strategy, marketing and management, the list continues. Whether you're a business owner or an organisation, Podfirst is here to help you to achieve your objectives and your vision. If any of this sounds like you, then you can visit Podfirst at www.podfirst.com. That's www.podfirst.com.
The circle gets smaller every day, mate.
Yeah. I feel like I think that's where, I don't know, certainly when entrepreneurship, such as life for me, I'd rather put people off fucking immediately.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I'd rather you just like tell me now you don't like my vibe than to just wait 3 months, 6 years and then go, I don't like you.
Why funny around and why flirt with all of it? Just say it as it is, like.
But then I think because I do know myself, it's certainly the flaws and all, to be able to deliver like, this is what I'm great at. Not this stuff.
Yeah. But we had a conversation last week where we talked about relationships being transactional. And every relationship is transactional. So we've got each other's back. We'll do absolutely anything. But if we didn't both derive a benefit from our friendship or brotherhood for the last 26 years, it wouldn't exist. Yeah. So I think and that's fine because we've grown up together. We know each other inside and out. But when you bring in new people or potential new people into your life at whatever age you're at, 33, 34, where we are, is you have to look at that. What are you going to bring to the table? Yeah. What am I going to bring to the table? Is there a fit? Are we helping each other grow? Are we benefiting each other?
And is that that'd be like back to your man club there. Know your own worth. Like I know in that in a cheesy Instagram quote, but like when you come in,
very true.
You've done, but then do you have to do something first? Because Alex Moses says it's not about affirmations in the mirror. It's about undeniable proof that you are who you say you are. Not because I said so, because I've done it.
I don't know. We should tell it something that in my career from day one, from before day one, I had that feeling that you have, which is I'm going to deliver, and anything that I set my mind to, I genuinely think I can be the best at. That was before I'd done anything.
And I will second that.
And it just so happened
that
I went out and delivered.
Yes, but that depends on which way we look at this, right? Self-confidence comes from your belief in achieving the outcome. Yeah. Your belief in me would probably not come from how confident I am about doing it. It
What's
comes
what
from
you've done.
What I've done.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to, you're like, go on then.
But it's from
actually, I might just stop you there, Ben, because I knew nothing of you, like, when we met. And when we did meet, I didn't feel that I'd have to see all this and the V-Class and the helicopter for you.
Does it not? It's that, but that's it. It's interesting, but like, we talk about personal brand, we talk about product brand. Yeah. Isn't the brand doing its talking without even saying anything at all?
Maybe.
No, I don't think so. Because I literally, obviously we've been through the story, I literally knew nothing of what you did. So the one thing that I derived from our conversation, and this is the value that I guess I derived on the day, we had I was really engaging energizing conversation.
Yeah.
Straight shooter. Say things like they are. So even just from walking away from that day, I had a really enriching conversation today. It was mentally stimulating for me. I value that. I want to speak to Ben again. So
yeah,
when we say transaction, it's not about how can I level your business up and how can you level mine up and how can I make money off of you. It's not that. It's, are you bringing something to me that I value? And conversations one, or drive, or inspiration, or whatever it may be. And
Doesn't the rising tide raise all boats?
I think it has to, because it's your environment, isn't it?
That's about a small number of people. Like you are the people you surround yourself with, and then seeing people expand and trying to expand them. That's where the value is, like, almost the value is the value.
Yeah. But
yeah,
look
I
at,
agree.
if you were, Hans is married, I'm married. I don't know if you're married, but you've got a partner. If we were, God forbid, all single, how would we go about selecting a partner? I think we'd have criteria there. It might be looks, but it might be career, it might be ambition, it might be values, it might be faith. So why would you operate in any different way
with everything else?
A friendship.
So interesting. So let's just play that game out, right? Values. It's definitely values for me. Like, of course, you want to see them across the bar or whatever, be attracted, but really it comes down to values.
Yeah, that could be an age thing though, that as well, Ben. Because if you go to
trauma,
or trauma,
learned experience,
because but then a lot of people will tell you about their values, but the big thing is, do they live unto their values? Because their actual actions every day, never, often, most of the time,
there's a lot of hypocrisy there.
Like, what are you talking about? Like, you have so much. I hear so much. I'm like, but I obviously struggle. I'm like, what?
You talk the talk, but
I don't weirdly, I don't think values is something you should communicate about yourself.
They communicate it for you.
By your actions,
The more you try and profess your values means you're not those things.
Yeah. And
that's very true.
I'm quite a cutthroat person, where sometimes when I see one thing in a person, or somebody does one thing that makes me question trust, or they're cut off.
But once you've seen it once, it's not like, I promise next time, but the fucking thing's done, because you've already shown me you wouldn't have ever done that if you weren't that person.
In the first place.
If it wasn't,
Now there's different.
But if you've done it once, you're doing it twice, right?
We've got to be clear. Like, people go, some people make mistakes, and I'm not talking about like leaving the milk on the side. We're talking like someone who would behave that way, and then not correct it themselves, or even fucking know about it in the first place. So self-awareness is an offense.
Yeah. Not many people want to put their hands up, Ben, and say like, I really cocked up here.
But they're interested in the wrong thing, right? Self-preservation over like maintain a relationship. Like my last chapter of the book, say not been released, is who do you want to be when no one's looking? People don't care.
They don't care because no one works on their own character. That's one thing I've had problems with time and time again, whether it's with a family member or friends. Nobody works on their character.
Because it's hard. We've had this conversation a lot. And I've always said it's a lot harder to look in the mirror and recognize your failings. But by the way, look, I'm not saying that we don't have failings.
Yeah, absolutely. No.
But I think the thing that, and Hans mentioned it, the thing that kind of made me do that to a degree, or reset my perspective, or who do I want to be, or what do I want to do, is when my father passed away. Because then that's a shock. And then that forces you to. But I think in general, it's like, there'll be things that I do on a day-to-day that I know is not quite right. Whatever it is, maybe, I don't know, waking up late or not taking the bins out, and that should be something that I do. I know it's not quite right, but that process of actually sitting down and saying, you know what, I need to be better, is very hard. And I think that's why you get this kind of people
they're in the middle,
pushing to grow, because it's really hard. And I think the older you get as well, it gets harder, because then do you say, have I spent 5-10 years doing something that I don't agree with? Or that's not.
But even generationally, it's hard.
Is that because you're reinforcing the mistake by making more mistakes?
Yeah, it's easier to make more mistakes than to tackle it. Yeah,
of course it is.
What's the biggest mistake that you still are making right now that you are aware of, but yet still making it?
Personal or business?
I know mine. Mine is not being present enough with loved ones. Is being there, being on my phone, thinking about work and just getting caught in that and drifting off, not being present enough. that's the one thing that immediately jumped to my mind, is that I need to work on that. As a plan to obviously have a family, etc. It's got to get a grip on that.
It's hard, that is.
Yeah.
That's a practice, I think. This is what I mean. I like to use the word practice. Like people practice yoga, right? Because it's a practice, not you don't achieve it.
Yeah.
And so you practice presence, because it's not like something that's going to be like, oh, I ticked it as present today.
Yeah. No,
it's one of those things. Is like there's an ebb and flow. I think that you have to have like the times that you're allowing yourself to be doing this, and allowing yourself to be different.
Go down the rabbit hole, yeah.
I'm just thinking while you're talking. Sorry, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there is.
Shall I give one for you?
Yeah.
And you know what I'm going to say is Hans gives too much of himself to other people at your own cost. So maybe a bit of people pleasing, but when you're somebody, when you're that person that people call when they need something from you, or you can help them, sometimes you just have to say no. Sometimes you have to not answer the call. I think that's something we discuss about a lot in our professional journey.
Yeah.
But it's something that I've also seen growth in.
Thank you. I've been trying consciously.
Yeah, I know.
But someone asked me once about, I'm certainly not a people pleaser, but I do pride myself on, I'm that friend that people may not speak to for a few years, but I'm the one they'd ring I'm obviously not going to take the call because I have phone on Do Not Disturb and I'm never going to wake up in the night. But I'm the person they'd ring when things go really wrong. And they're like, who's the person who's not going to judge me for anything that's may have happened? I've made a very big mistake. Ben is going to know the answer. Ben's going to have a situation where he knows someone once, that he was involved in this thing, and this weird story along the lines. For research purposes only, Ben would definitely know what to do in this situation. I'm that guy, and I kind of pride myself on the fact that people know, like you said, straight shooter, ain't going to judge nothing. He's just going to help you to solve the fucking problem. Because like love means love to me with friends. Like I don't talk to my family. I don't have a family that is in the sense of like blood relatives, etc. I choose friends, people wisely, and then just think when you're all in, you're all in.
Yeah,
it actually means something all in to me. Like not like one of those all in. Like I'm like, no, I'm going to take you all the way down the river and fucking go on then. Like let's go. I'm in.
Yeah.
But people don't. They say they are, and they're not. So like what you're saying.
It's hard to find people like that.
I struggle.
Yeah.
Hard to find people like that.
You know what? Just thinking of that, and then thinking of another one from a business point of view. And we've both been too guilty at this, and I think that's because you get browbeaten and you're fatigued or you're burnt out. Is giving too much away, either whether it's giving too much help or not really fighting our cause and sticking true to our guns. We learned that the hard way. I don't think we're there now. I think we're past that. But for sure.
Look how long it's taken.
It's tough though, right? Because back to who do you want to be? Like you said, if we did this with the homeless FC and it went to nothing, hey, we still gave to the homeless. And so I think it's like prepared for the lot, like expect to lose on everything, and everything else is to gain. But as long as you do it for the reasons that you're okay with, because I always say like, what would be worse? Not doing something that could turn into something incredible, or be regretful for the things you didn't do. And so, like, you could look at it multiple ways. Like, I don't want to be somebody who changes. Like, I'm skeptical of people because people are cons. But also, I'm super welcoming until, like, the one thing happens. But then I'm brutal when the one thing happens. Yeah. So I'm, like, wide open arms. And I just need to see one thing. And I'm like, no, you're a cunt. Because you can't uncont the cunt.
Yeah.
It's so true, though. I think... Yeah, once somebody shows you that glimpse, they throw you under a bus or, they lie and then they double down on the line. It gets worse and worse. That's within you.
Yeah, you can't salvage that.
And also,
the first thing, right, is as I say, mistake. The second thing is a choice.
Yeah,
that's the difference.
How am I going to fix this? Am I going to put my hands up and say I fucked up here?
Yeah.
What? Like, let's make it better. Here's a plan. And we've probably both done that as well. Look, so there might be somebody watching this think, you motherfucker.
I mean,
probably me actually.
Also, people are like, all right, hi, matey. Like, you made me fair share of mistakes, and I'm never professing I've not made them, and I still make them.
Yeah, and I same for us. We're not sat here saying we're
trying like be better.
That's the key, Ben. For me,
I watched a show there on
self-development.
Self-development. It was on a show, and he was like, there's a couple thing, like married at first sight style things, and they were talking to the experts. It was a powerful moment, and he was like groveling. And she went, what can I do? What can I do? She went, I don't want you to do anything. Just be better. And I was like, the way in which that emotional thing came across, just be better. I was like, just be better.
But it's so true, right?
But it's fucking hard.
It's hard. It's hard. I get it. It's hard. But also just having that consciousness, that understanding that you work on yourself. You know, why would you not? Why would you not? If you want to pass an exam, what do? You revise.
It's the same
you put yourself in that environment.
It's the same sort of thing. Sorry to cut you off. The same sort of thing that people talk about, like self-development, right? The people who sell in self-development talk about self-development. Don't do any self-development.
Yeah, and that's it. It's the hypocrisy and the
invest in
cliche.
yourself. You're like, when was
And
the
they
last
don't do
time-
it themselves. Yeah.
When was the last time you were?
Are you at risk of you sat in an ivory tower because that is the our approach? Is it wrong to think that other people that don't have that approach are wrong, or what if it depends on what you value, right?
Yeah.
If you value, and sometimes I'm jealous of this, value literally going to work 9 to 5, I'm comfortable, I'm happy in my life, I'm family, etc. That person switches off at 5 o'clock and on the weekend.
Yeah.
So it's all a matter of perspective, isn't it?
Perspective, yeah.
Yeah, but that's like when you go like, we're not trying to do what they're trying to do.
It's true.
If they're trying to be 50 grand a year and whatever bullshit they're going to live on, whereas when they were like, I'm not trying to build what they're trying to build. So when someone's like, oh, they get to go at 5, I'm like, unlucky them.
Yeah.
Where does that come from in you?
People have tried to reverse engineer my brain for many years for many reasons. I just don't know. There's no, obviously, there's shitloads of childhood trauma, there's shitloads of stuff. I don't wake up and go, oh, I'm off to prove myself today. Like, I got a lot of mental energy, physical energy as well. It's got to go somewhere. And so, like, as I've started to put it somewhere, I like being good at stuff. Like, if we started to play a new sport that I'd never heard of, some Arabic sport or something, you put me in a coffee situation, I'll be the best person you've ever seen at anything. Because if I, like you said, to put mind to it,
If you value it,
I just want to win.
Yeah, yeah.
And I want to make a team of winners, and I just want to win. And I'm going to row the boat. I'll row it. I'll grow the flowers in it.
Yeah.
I'll grow the food in it. I'll swim underneath the boat, pull on the boat. Just want to win.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to with the people I care about. And so there's an insensible, like, definitely like belonging. My two, Brene does it, and Dare to Lead said about the values. And people, she said, they put down a list, and people have like 10 to 15. And she said, what are the 2 that drive you? Because your family don't drive. She said, you say my family most important thing to me. I don't go to work every day for my family. I don't actually do that. And so I think mine was connection and
That's interesting. Yeah.
belonging.
May I pry a little bit
Please.
there? Ben, and just ask, so you mentioned is this belonging? Do you think it's because you had a lack of it at a young age?
Yeah. Yeah, because as a kid, I didn't fit in. No, I wasn't like what in any of the subsets of kids. Super freaky nerdy, different.
That's interesting. Yeah.
And so then the connection thing, I realized, like, I did the Ironman just to hang out with a guy called Rich, a corporate lawyer.
Yeah.
Met him in the change room with David Lloyd. And he told me about his Ironman thing. I thought it was obviously like, I was like, how hard can that be?
Oh, wow.
Turns out fairly fucking hard.
Yeah.
But he's a corporate lawyer, family man, 2 kids, incredible relationship with his wife. And I was like, if I could be anywhere near like that man, and his morals, his standards, and how he behaves.
So he's a role model in a way.
Role model. And I literally just trained with him the entire way through to become more like a man like Rich. I tell him that all the time, like, it's so important, like you say about your relationship, like, I look up to him, like, that's the sort of man I want to be like. Wow. And so back in the struggling to 2 or 3 years ago now, I was going for a tough time in my personal life, just a beacon of like, but if I could be more like that guy. And so I did, but I became obsessive with the Ironman. I became obsessive with anything I do because I just want to be the best at what I do, not to be better than anyone else.
No. It's
I'm running my own race.
It's fulfillment, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because if you genuinely believe you can do it, and you get to that point, it's fulfillment.
Yeah, and it's like, and then you're just trying to improve the little pieces.
Yeah, it's tough because I've asked myself that question a lot. Is like, where have I got this thing from? And for me, it snapped into gear at like 25. Oh no, not a bit younger. I was like, where does this come from?
No, I think Nadir has had it for a while, but I just don't think he knew. I think other people saw where he was going to go from school, could see his mindset.
At school,
he was lazy though.
He was lazy.
He was lazy. Even at uni, he was lazy.
Is that because you're just good enough to just go?
Yeah,
and that's it.
I was just that lucky. I did my degree in Nottingham. I just go to the library a day before the exam and do like 2 hours of revision.
Both.
Yeah, and I don't know. I was just lucky in that sense. I never had to work hard up until the age of 23, probably. Never been challenged because I was going through education. So I guess I didn't know I had it.
Yeah, I think I was an academic, very good problem solver, and sort of like to work security like at a young age, and obviously then entrepreneurial. Solve problems. So I became master of supply chain.
Then you go down a different route. So we were both fortunate. We were fortunate. We went to private school. Not from particularly wealthy backgrounds, but our parents obviously made the sacrifice to put us through.
Yeah.
So you get an easy ride there because you're given all the opportunity in the world. But then, we know people that are really smart that are not really, well, from our point of view, not up to much. They've got great jobs and stuff, but
that's failure. You think it's failure, right?
Well, I would consider it.
I completely agree. I'm like, what are they doing? They're like, I'm like, nothing then.
But then a bit of hardship or a bit of trauma along the way, I think really helps mold you into something.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like, we've obviously done all this in the last few years whilst going through the worst period of time of our life possible. And so then people understand, like, when I start to tell people like what's gone on, they're like, so the same day? I'm like, yeah, that was the same day. They're like, fucking what? Like, that then shows the character, but I don't know any other different. I wasn't doing it to impress them. I just did it because
you had to do it.
Like, Finn will tell you a story going out of somewhere, and he's like, fucking hell, have you just been doing that? You've read a whole fucking book and you're talking about AI agents. Like, it's a mental story. Like,
it's the trenches, mate, and it's building whilst in the trenches.
But no one gives a fuck about you.
No, they don't.
They don't give a fuck. Like, I was like, so fucking what? No one cares about your story. No one cares about what happened to you as a kid. They just
no one gives a shit.
Achieve.
Yeah.
And once you've won, they want to tell everyone how they know you.
Yeah. Or they want to rub shoulders with you. They want to drive around with you. They want to go out with you for dinner. They want to do this with you, that with you. They'll ring your phone when you've not spoken to them for years. I've seen it all, man, on this journey so far. I've seen it all.
I think, weirdly, we've said something similar, and it's definitely not on the same level. But we started this business with a small coffee shop in Halifax. And I have definitely said to you multiple times is one day, people are, and people say, we're chasing our dream. And they're like, we just got a coffee shop in Halifax. And it's a small coffee shop. Like
still get that now.
What's so special about it? And I've always said to Hans, one day those people, it'll flip because we will get a national retailer on board and they will see that and then it'll flip. And it's by no means, I can't make a comparison to like more of a personal challenge, but it's the case. It's, I know those guys. I used to go to their first shop and now look where they are.
You never see a hater doing better than you. See, all I see is just started a small shop in Halifax. I'm like, wicked, awesome, that's amazing. Not like fucking losers.
Yeah.
Where else do you want us to start from? And also, we started as multi-billionaires.
Why would anyone say?
No, it was also contrived from our end. The story was we need to get the product right, but to gain a bit of kudos and to have a nice story, we can say, oh, we started as two lads in a coffee shop in Halifax, and now look where we are. Yeah. It was a conscious choice,
and we needed a platform.
Yeah, it was a conscious choice.
Showcase.
But yeah, it's that whole thing of.
Yeah, my friend took a picture of me on a gym bench with a laptop, and so he said, when you exit or something, people go, it's easy for him. You're fucking going back and forth with a Brazilian developer at 5 o'clock in the morning, like coding something because you learned how to kind of half AI code just to figure out whether they were wrong.
And that's the thing, Ben, isn't it? They're very, very quick to shoot you down. We've seen it. People who we thought were friends. We've seen it all, man. Honestly, I'm sure you have.
Yeah,
I'm sure you have.
And that's why. Sorry.
No, sorry. I'm just saying that's why I'm not out to prove a point to them. That's one of my big ones now, which maybe, like Nadir said earlier, I was at one point. But I'm not out there to prove a point to them anymore. That's gone. That's drifted. It's set a sail, and it goes back to what you said: the Kevin Hart, the door, and the next door. Yeah, we were playing craps at a certain table at one point, but we've gone through the next door now, I think.
And you can't get drawn off course as well. There's nothing worse, I think, in my mind, where if we do this thing the way we want to do it and we're not successful, that's fine because that is a very real possibility, and it happens. But if we don't do this thing the way we want to do it, and then we're not successful, you start to think, what if I gave so much away? I should have followed my gut there. That's when you start to listen to those external voices. That's where I think that for me would be failure. If the business doesn't work, the business doesn't work. If we've done it our way, great. We've had a great time.
What did you say about the ship sinking?
Yeah, you got to do it our way. We've said it, and we've been there. Like if the ship's going down, let's just do it our way.
Yeah, because you have to rely on that. If it goes down, I
Yeah.
want to know I did everything I wanted to do.
Yeah. But if I listened to that person that said, I don't like the red, don't like the packaging, jazz it up,
Oh gosh.
and it failed, and I'm sat there looking at, well, fucking, we created something that we didn't even want to do, and it didn't work. Like, that's the most
Yeah.
painful feeling for me.
Yeah.
So back to then, what's the biggest limiting belief still then? No, you just said you changed your opinion, now you're not doing it for them. But what is the biggest limiting belief that is still holding you back from the growth that you want and need now?
I think it's, look, be raw and honest. I think it's financial. I think we do need an investment, a push now. The product.
Why? Why money? Or money's so easy to go to. Why money? Be more creative.
Well, I don't think there's a limiting belief.
Where do you think there's money?
It's a limiting factor.
It's a limiting factor. Yes, that's a better way to put it. It's a limiting factor.
Let me change the belief around the factor. So, what do you need money for?
To move quick.
And scale.
So, just like going back to our conversation,
Yeah.
there is a window here.
Mhm.
There's a window of opportunity. We think we're doing it the best at the moment. Where we're moving, but other people are going to see this window of opportunity, and if they come in with deeper pockets, they could leapfrog us.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's why it's the financial
Tender period.
But what do you need the money for? We say to move fast. I can't.
It solves problems, doesn't it?
Yes, but what problems are they to solve?
Logistical.
Mm.
The main one for us actually is
Growth.
stock build.
Stock build. Yeah.
We're talking about jumping to selling 1 million cans next year, and selling 1 million cans through the retailers. So we know per retailer we might need, let's say, 2 months stock on the floor and a constant pipeline of stock coming in. And then we also know that retailers not going to pay us for 60 days post invoice. So we've got this massive window of, we might have to have, I don't know, roughly 200,000 cans sat in our warehouse. We might have to be paying for another 200,000 cans from the production, ingredients, all that stuff, labor and all that stuff. And we're not getting paid for a while. So it's just ironing that process out.
So just funding purchase orders?
Yeah, but it's prior to the purchase order as well. So when you go into a retailer, the one thing you can't do is run out of stock.
Mm.
So the purchase orders haven't come yet, but we want 2 months stock sat in our warehouse. So we know that we're not chasing our tail. So there's that, stock build there.
Stock build.
We can't raise finance against that because the purchase order's not come in yet.
So you're in a vicious cycle.
And then,
So now you're knocking on the doors of personal, friends, family, guys, this is what we need. Because of that, then going back to what we mentioned about valuation earlier, that's probably an easier conversation than it is going to try and,
because
institutional finance.
You're in a tough spot because they want valuation based on air.
Yeah.
And
technically.
We have, let's say we have 5 very active conversations, national scale conversations going on. Well, if we had a blank checkbook, we'd do them all.
Yeah.
And next year, not everybody, but Hubb would be a serious national brand.
Yeah.
But right now we know we can't do all 5 of those. Maybe we can only do 2. And that's awful position to be in.
Because it's like someone saying there you can have it all essentially.
But let's just being creative for a second, because if we change the target, it's like if this, then it's you, so this was me.
Yeah.
Play it out the other way. What would you be telling me to do if this was the other way around? And I was saying, let's get creative. We need however much money, like £1 million to go and do these orders, right? Hypothetically, how can we get £1 million for either in sales or from somewhere, somehow? What's the creative way to do that?
So I'm the conservative guy, right? So my genuine advice would be do what you can, stretch yourself as much as possible and boost your valuation and then go raise. Don't give it away now.
I would agree.
But
no, there isn't a but. Because I said it like that, Ben. But I think we've been dwelling on this a lot, and I think the reality of the situation is, I think that is the only way possible. I don't think there's any other way. I've opened my little black book, and I think I've exhausted all the options. But it would be amazing if I had that rich uncle who would just say, "There's the money you need. Just pay me back in a few years." I think that'd be great. But we don't have that, either of us. So now, if we're doing it properly, this is the route we have to go now.
That's a playbook, though, right? This is what everyone's going to tell you. Is is sweat it as long as possible. Do not give away more than you have to. Get your valuation up.
There's a chicken and egg.
Yeah.
Big time, bro.
But we know we're doing something next year. That's the main thing.
But let me try and shift the conversation, because my question was probably I meant it probably differently maybe to how it came across. If you went and generated X amount of sales in D2C, would that be able to fund some of this?
It would eventually, but there's a lead and lag. As we know, there's a cost of that sale. And then there's probably a cost of the repeat sale. And then because it's a habitual product, hopefully we retain 50, 60%. That'd be a great number. And then that becomes, you got the lifetime value of the consumer, and it's generating something back for it. But it's the lead and lag of it. So what's the investment that would require us to benefit from that D2C further down the line? It's
hard. It's hard.
And also, look, it's just not an area we're strong in. Product we're strong in. Having a commercial conversation we're strong in. I think branding we're pretty strong in. The online stuff is just not an area that we are. Which isn't a great excuse, because we can go out and learn it.
Can't learn it all at once, though, can you?
Yeah. And also it's the desires. Where do we really want to be effective?
Yeah.
I think it's a dilemma, isn't it?
Chicken and egg again is, if somebody gets this, starts drinking Hubb from going into Waitrose, then can we capture them to be a D2C customer at a much lower cost, because they know the brand, they know the product, they like the product. Can we shift them that way?
It's all
angles, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an omnipresence.
Comes at you from all
angles. That's a sexual innuendo. I hope you know.
Cut that, please.
Cut.
It's hard, isn't it, bro? It is hard. This is where we've been, and that's why you got the alopecia, you got the grey hairs, you got all that coming through, because it's a stress. We're just a bit stressed out at the moment with this, and there's a lot of thought going into it.
But this was always in the journey. I said it from day one. Product business is hard, because building a brand and doing it through product is hard, because it costs you loads of money. You're not going to make any money for a long period of time. That's this. We always knew that this was going to be the case.
Yes, we did.
We've been selling or giving stock at a loss for probably like the first 12 to 18 months, because we know we have to reach a certain scale, a certain mass, for then the economics to make sense. So, but also we have the foresight of, well, we're not going to sell this for £4 because we're like a little independent craft brand, because that's not going to help us scale. We know $2.25, let's say, that has to be the price point. That's what we cement from day one. And then when we do walk through the doors of a national retailer, we're ready to go with the economics. So we knew this was the journey that we're on from day one.
There's a squeeze point, right? But there's like, I'm still like, okay, fine, we can't fly to the moon today by rocket. But what
do we do in that interim period is what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm like, what's the creative way? Like, if you had any option, apart from just the rich uncle, like, what is the way? And you said, I've thought of everything.
No, we haven't. There's always options, isn't there? But
you could crowdfund it.
Yeah.
Do we necessarily agree with that model? I'm not sure. Do we have the brand strength to do it? Probably not. So that'd be also part of the playbook, wouldn't it? Young, up and coming, F&B brand, crowdfund. That's the way a lot of people.
That's the way, yeah. Absolutely.
Do we want to go viral? Well, only if it's authentic to us, and I don't think that we are.
Because we've had those options as well, Ben. Which is
to go viral. What does that mean?
Yeah, we saw an example of that might be we've had the options where we've been approached, or someone said to us, "Look, I can get this in every single shop, in Bradford, for example, or whatever. All I need is X, Y, Z. Just leave it to me." So you can go for that fast cash. You can put this in certain areas, but also you've got to ask yourself: is that where you want to be?
Yeah.
That's the main thing here, because I'm sure that we could generate more sales. I'm sure we could. But also you got to ask yourself, but is that where I want to be sat?
Yeah, we're navigating the brand at that point as well.
Do you get what I mean? It's
where the discovery piece happens. If it's online, it's got to be through a piece of a content or creative that feels like the brand. If it's in a shop, we don't want it. It has to be in the right shop, because we're a young brand. Not many people know us, so you do very carefully have to curate that journey. And I did this previously. With the previous business that I mentioned, we launched the business in November 2018, and I met the Tesco team by chance in February 2019, 3 months old. Had the conversation with them. They offered as a national listing, 800 stores, multiple SKUs. On paper, looks great. I turned them down for a year because I knew we had to build the brand, curate it, get it in the right shop windows, get the right people drinking it, build a national presence, because eventually that's all going to yield benefits when you are in Tesco.
Yeah.
So there's big opportunities. We turned a fairly significant one down a couple of months ago because it wasn't quite right, and that's
that navigation process. Is having that map, and is this the right place to get off at? And I'm not sure, actually. I don't think it sits in with the brand. Okay, shame, we'll move on. You keep going, but you got to be true. You've got to be true to where you want to be, what the brand values.
Because look at some recent brands that have popped up, and they've gone like that, and then what comes after that?
Trash.
Yeah, Prime's a good one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Built on the strength of obviously influencers, hype. Now it's reduced in supermarkets, and it's in Aldi and Lidl, and nothing against them because I actually shop there, but they're considered discounters. So if they approach us right now, we wouldn't entertain a conversation with them because it's not the right move for our brand. Whereas that slow and steady growth in the direction you want to go in, there's longevity in that.
But it's a harder journey. It's not that immediate hit of, wow, smashed it. Wow.
But there's also
it takes
just
time.
remove the emotion out of what we're talking about here. We can only do 2 and we want to do 5.
Yeah.
It's like the Audi conversation is kind of irrelevant in we want to do 5 and going to do 2.
Yeah.
So just removing that emotional piece.
But 2 is great, by the way.
I'm not saying
that's what we can't lose sight of either.
Yeah.
2 is great.
2 is phenomenal. But I guess all we're saying is, well, if you're saying that we need to just raise X amount, we can do them all, and this train could be moving a lot quicker, then that's why we're just entertaining that conversation. But walking away from here, Ben, today doesn't mean that we're not going to say yes to anything. Of course we are. We've got plans for 2026, hopefully. And it's just after you asking the question, just sort of saying, well, 5 is an option, or 6 or 7 or whatever is an option. But do you know what? Okay.
What does that look like then in terms of 2, 5, 6, 7? What does that look like in terms of the business and where you are now versus where you'll be at the end of next year and then the year after?
2, depending on which ones we take, we'll hit £1 million revenue next year. And then it goes up in multiples thereof. The 2 that we're talking to aren't the biggest 2. Aren't the biggest ones, sorry. There's ones that are double the size of that opportunity. So
but would cost more to go into.
Yeah, because it's a simple numbers game. We've got 500 stores. We're going to put your product in 500 stores. We sell this many cans per week. Do the maths. Yeah. Whereas one of them is saying, all right, let's try that out. Let's give you 150 stores. Still nationally, but just not in every one of our stores. That's easy. That's it's like a little bite-sized chunk. The biggest opportunity you could probably get, you need proven experience, is probably 2,500 stores, something like a Co-op or a Tesco, including Tesco Expresses. 2,500 stores across the UK. And that's big numbers.
But almost talking in milestones here, right? Because you want to get into one.
It is a milestone thing as well, but also
deliver on that.
Deliver on that. Yeah.
Deliver on that.
But then there's also striking while the iron's hot.
Yeah.
Like Nadir said, could somebody, leapfrog us at any point while we're on that little trajectory?
But you're looking for that. You want to be you're on the hockey stick up at the moment where you're asking for the change.
Correct.
Because that's where you're going to get the biggest.
Correct.
And also being able to deliver 5, you have to build a full organization. You have to build your logistics. You probably need a supply chain planner in there looking at. So
now you're taking staff on.
We're on promo in, Waitrose. So we've got a 6-week promo going, so we need to account for an uplift there. And then but we're on promo over here as well, and then it's going to dip, and then that's you're spinning a lot of plates there. So do you do it in bite-sized chunks, but there's still great progression. Or if you get £1 million,
or do you go all in with the chips?
You can go for it.
Well, the question is which one. Back to doing it your way. You both seem obviously on the conservative side from what you said, but which one would you be more upset with? Going the conservative way and someone goes past you, or going all in, trying to get the money, or going to get whatever that looks like and going for it?
We might have a difference of opinion on that.
I don't think somebody's going to go past us. Only because, as like rewinding the conversation, if we do a better job at building our brand, that is the differentiator. So if somebody comes with a similar product or, you know, an objectively better product, I don't know what a better product actually looks like, but if somebody comes with that, it's still the strength of our brand that's going to sell.
Yeah.
So that we have to be better at that. We know that.
Yeah. I guess that's our USP.
And that's why I've got confidence in doing 2 versus 5.
I agree with that. But then you're also asking me what I'd like to do. And my personality just tells me throw it all in. So that's just me being honest.
What does throwing it in all in look like?
It means I've got a hell of a lot of work to do, Ben, to raise the money that I need. And then I knock on Nadir's door and say, I'm ready. Let's go. Do you want to do it? Yes or no? That's the reality of it, man. Can I raise it? Can I get it? Maybe there's still someone in that little black book that's I've not sort of explored yet. But equally, I also back what Nadir's saying as well, that if we strengthen the brand more, then we can go a little bit slower.
But you almost got like the same trajectory, right? One's just got a little engine on the back of it.
That's it.
Same path.
Same thing.
Just one's got an engine and one's just less engines.
Yeah.
Still going the same direction, same plan.
Yeah. Same plan, same direction, which is the beauty of both of them.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like we're saying, sorry, mate, I want to go left and you want to go right. It's not that.
Yeah, what's the dilemma? We just grow faster.
Yeah. It's a nice place to be in, right?
Yeah. Grow nonetheless.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we've got a couple of things in the back pocket, I think, that could step change things as well. Some new stuff coming.
What are those?
Well, we're branching out into not just coffee products. So we are going to launch an iced matcha in cans. And I think that opens up a whole other customer base. And we are branching out beyond, just cans. We've got coffee beans. We've dipped our toe in there. Roasting our own beans. That's been received really well so far. And then one of the other things that we did in the shop is we had draft nitro coffee. And I think that might be an interesting avenue for us to look at going down in terms of supplying equipment and the liquid as the iced coffee trends continue to grow. So it becomes more of we're not just coffee cans, we're a coffee company. And whether you're walking into your independent coffee shop over here, you walk to your supermarket there, you know, independent coffee shop, we might be wholesaling their house beans. They might have one of our draft nitro systems in with our liquid on. Or you might go into, your supermarket over here and you might grab a can of Hubb as well.
Then that almost does play into a cultural virality piece, right? Because you're trying to be perceived in culture. It's a cultural movement you're trying to hook onto.
When we first ever started, Ben, our slogan was coffee culture. It was on the tote bags, on the Instagram page, it was on our t-shirts, because it is a cultural piece.
That's the bit that's like the most untapped, right? You're obviously pushing on brand, but that's the cultural piece. That's not it's not coming across yet.
It's untapped, but it's also the most authentic. Weirdly.
Yeah. That's like you guys saying I want to be authentic before we came on. You're saying about being authentic on a pod, but that needs to be planned. And
coffee culture pod.
Yeah. And it is a culture. Like you said, things. But back in the day, things used to revolve around a pint. You know, we'd sit, we'd have a Stella,
that's the beauty of what the pub was.
Socializing.
Socializing, exactly.
How many great conversations?
Man friendship, right?
Yeah.
That's what you was going to talk about before.
Absolutely. But it has shifted. Yeah. Not for everybody, but there's a measurable shift. That it's gyms. I think that's why stuff like High Rocks, CrossFit, Pilates is so big, because it's a group thing. Community.
Yeah. And a nice crossover of, men and women and the like, and everyone else that's in that. It's a crossover. The pub was very masculine. The wives would sip on a shandy and, go home early. So it still had that masculinity, a dartboard and a pool table, Whereas this is like, actually, we're moving on from that now. Everyone's involved. Everyone can be part of this coffee culture and this community. And community can be very cliche as well. I think, people can affiliate community with caste, creeds and religions. It's not a case of that.
Okay, you can use the word community. You can use a lot of words, cliche, but you have to just mean it and then be it. You don't you don't say community, you feel community, don't you?
Absolutely. And I always look at a few things. I look at hype beast. I look at trends. I see what's going on out there, and And actually, everything to a degree has a community. Everything has a community, you know.
Yeah, because if it's got a following, if it's got a tribe,
Yes,
they're people with at least some shared interests or characteristics.
correct.
I think that's the foundation of community.
And that even if you're not in it, but you like it from the outside, you've got a chance to be part of it, right?
Yeah.
You've got a chance. We're giving you that open. It's an open book, you know. You like it from. We get so many people that look from the outside. We get so many people that are a bit hesitant, but that's still a form of interest in being involved in that culture and community.
Pondering thoughts, yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It really
Thought
is.
provoking,
It's
isn't it?
very
It's, yeah,
thought-provoking.
like, yeah, I was like,
On it, while we're just thinking, many years ago, I bought a Jaguar XJR 1987 V8 in racing green with cream leathers and veneer everywhere. It was disgustingly beautiful. And I used to have an old, I believe it was Pavarotti cassette that was stuck in the cassette player. So it only played Pavarotti.
Mhm.
Now, at the time, I was young, but when I used to drive that car, I bought it for £1,000, by the way, amazing bit of kit for £1,000. So drive that car, and Jaguar drivers used to wave, right?
yeah.
And I know what you're thinking, but it's the first time that this little light bulb moment switched on, and I was like, this is a community. This is a thing. Next minute I knew I had something through the post, come to a convention. Yeah, and I'm like, what the hell? I'm like 20 years old. Like, this is weird. What am I going to go to? But I realized at that point, then I spoke to a close friend of mine at the time whose dad also had a Jag, and he was like, yeah, didn't you know? Like, it's a thing, man. JLR's a thing. And I understood that people really do appreciate that sense of belonging. You mentioned it earlier. You know, it's a big thing. It's a very big thing. And whether it's drinking this, or whether it's you drive a Jag, or whether it's you wear a certain brand to the gym, that's a big one right now.
Yeah.
You know, people affiliate with those kind of brands. Whether you wear Nike trainers or you wear Adidas, right? It doesn't matter. It's still a form of a culture and a belonging and a community, irrespective. I realized that at a young age. I'm glad I did.
It's so interesting. I can remember I had Audis cars when I was younger, and all other Audi drivers would let you out.
Yeah.
No one else. Audi drivers
Still happens now,
always
bro.
let.
Like, honestly.
And it was actually Andrew Tate who spoke about cars.
Yeah.
He said it's a networking tool because people come outside to see the Bugatti.
Yeah.
That's why one of the reasons why I got the V class, because like, what a way to try and meet people.
100%.
It does so many things without
Yeah.
doing anything at all.
And I really love that. I really love that. Because, yeah, look, there's bullshitters, but also you can still be a middleman and portray an image for gain. That's really important. There is a reason people want to drive a Range Rover. There is a reason people want to wear a Rolex. Rolex might not be the best watch out there, but is it the most iconic? Of course it is, right? There's a reason. And if you want to strip it back to this again, there's a reason, Coca-Cola. There's a reason, hopefully, Hubb Coffee. There's a reason that they wanted that Voss today and not the San Pellegrino. Yeah?
Just wanted to flex a bit.
Do you see it?
No, but all these things communicate. You're choosing things that you want to communicate to the world. And it's probably going to step further now with social media because you actively can curate how you want the world to see you. But yeah, all these things, they're signals, aren't they?
Equally, though, it doesn't always have to be something high end. So I'm gonna retract an element of it. I spoke about Range Rovers and Rolexes. It might not be about that. You could be in
different brands do it differently.
Exactly that. It's not always about the premium element. It's just about the community it creates.
What does it mean? It boils down to what does it mean and
Yes.
what do people take
To
from
you.
it? Yeah.
To you, exactly that.
That's what the value is.
Yeah.
That is why, if we put two different brands, exact same product, you're going to pick one over the other because one means something to me more.
And they also, there's another thing where they put loads of socks, I think, in a store. You might have heard this one. Different colours, the same exact sock, same colour, same everything. And they went, choose one of these socks, they're all different. And then people started to ask why they chose that one. They're like, oh, that one spoke to me. They're all fucking same.
Yeah.
because your brain tells yourself a reason why you told it, even though they're identical socks.
So there's no label or anything
No
at the top.
label,
It's just
from what I understand, from my memory's correct. There was no. It just brain has to tell themselves a story of justification of why they did that.
And you can lead people in that way.
Yeah. Like you
That's
spoke about the coffee notes earlier.
Yeah, and I guess that's your job as a brand owner is to lead people. But in the previous beverage business, we were very careful about leading people because we used to do a lot of we were all kind of trained in what you'd call sensory tasting. So making sure the liquid's on spec for the brand, or are you tasting an off flavor or an infection or whatever it may be. So you'd have to you weren't allowed to smoke. You weren't allowed to chew gum 45 minutes before. You had to be in a deprived sensory environment. So no distractions, and you couldn't have any thought of what was in the glass because that will change your perception of it.
And so this is literally a perception piece.
Yeah. But it's not all fur coat, no knickers, because what's inside.
But then backed up with substance.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
But then if they believe what we tell them, what are we going to tell them?
Well, that's the challenge because the substance is there. It's all the other stuff.
Definitely there.
It's all the other stuff.
It's everything else around it.
So essentially, you've put Hubb in a can, and now more than just a can. And you say, "This is what coffee means to us." What does coffee mean to you?
Exactly that.
Yeah, because that's viral. I'd say that is because then everyone in the world who drinks coffee, or people who don't, would be like, it's my mum and dad go to a coffee shop, or my mum and dad met in a coffee shop, or my grandma, or my friend.
Yeah, this is what we do for fun, or I drive this way to work because I want to get a coffee from that shop and I don't want to go to.
So imagine if people were posting up coffee pictures of coffee shops that are not yours all over the world, saying this is what coffee means to me, because it's not just about it. The Hubb as a movement.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's something there.
There is something there.
Yeah, and
something just sparked up there. Like, well, that's something I could see that in culture, but because people like to post the Starbucks cup because it's got their name on it.
Yeah,
that's what they did well.
Well, we kind of spoke about that a bit more. Is because we love the culture, coffee culture, is can we shout out places that we love to go, or can we do picks if you go to London, this is where we'd go, because it's not they're not competitors.
They're actually helping to elevate the market.
Yeah. But then how do you go beyond it? Because gyms, for instance, we have quite a few gyms as customers. We sell really well there
in the vending machines. Yeah.
And it's what's your coffee story there? When are you drinking the coffee? Are you drinking it before your session so you can go hard? Or are you drinking it after a class when you want to chat to all your mates in the class and have a sit down for half an hour? Yeah. There's still a story there. It's not actually about this.
Or is it a treat? Some people, it's a treat.
But it's not actually about this. It's just what this enables.
It's an enabler or a lubricant to the transaction or the friendship or the thing.
Absolutely.
Like golf, right? We go to golf to a deal.
Yeah.
People go coffee to talk.
Absolutely. Don't play golf because I'm good at it. Can I show you that?
It's 1-3 iron that he hit.
That was a beauty.
Yeah, but to us, I probably get about 3 good golf shots in my life, and I can tell you every single one of them.
Yeah.
I hit a putter for a birdie. I jumped on the lad, broke his putter, bought to buy a £500 putter. Best moment of my golfing career.
What a feeling.
It's just
euphoria.
And then the next shot, fucking.
Oh yeah, shanty.
You're literally walking down the thing. What do you mean? I've got Tiger with his clubs and I can't play like that. Have you not seen my bag? It's white. It's a rainy day. What do you think we're gonna have?
That's so true.
But it's so true. But I'm in the belief, back to this taste perception. You are how you feel, and so all the gear.
Agreed.
You feel like you obviously cannot play like that.
Yeah.
But I would never want to turn up feeling like.
Same when I play football. I played football for many years at a half decent level, and I know how I got the best out of myself, and I honestly needed new boots every 3 to 4 games. Nothing wrong with the boot. It was the feeling. It was just feeling of sliding on a new boot and going on the pitch. I know I didn't need that boot. Accumulated how many pairs of Adidas Coppers or World Cups or whatever I wore at the time. So many. But it's the feeling. Even when I played cricket, the feeling of new pads or a new bat. One really interesting one is bat that you've used for a whole season in cricket. At the end of the season, get it all sanded down and re-stickered. Looks brand new. You go again. And at no point does your mind say, this is a 1-year-old bat. It's a feeling.
Yeah, that's probably the gun and more £400 bat in the playground. My dad was like, yeah, but the bat you're going to use at the weekend is the same bat you're going to use in the week.
Yeah.
People were like, why? People thought it's a spoiled little kid.
Yeah.
My dad was like, straight bat is the only thing we care about.
Yeah.
But I was told from a young age, like, the only thing you get. So I was autistic, so it was like, straight bat, mate.
Straight bat.
Like it's completely reasonable thought.
But it's that feeling that GM bat gave you. That feeling.
But it's whether it's significance, whether it's whatever it is.
Yeah. Whether it was other people, how they saw you as well. That's a big one.
How you feel about yourself.
It's about yourself. It's about yourself.
All about how you feel about yourself.
100
That is
million.
exactly what brand means, right? Personal brand or product or anything else. What does it make you feel?
Yeah.
It's 100%. Because otherwise, if we were all logical and we all just took things as, from their function point of view, we'd all be probably wearing a different outfit. We'd all probably have the same watch or no watch, because its job is to tell the time. Well, we've all got a different watch on. Why is that? Because they mean something different to all of us.
That makes you feel in a certain way.
Yeah.
I love the psychology part of that. I really do.
Well,
But can you influence as well? Can you influence how? Of course you can. You can change the perception for people.
Yeah. Well, that's what building a brand is, though.
Yes, it is. It's exactly that.
Yeah, and it's interesting, right? Because these are branded and it's branded, I suppose, but it's an Apple Watch, not a Rolex. But I value effectiveness.
Beautiful. Look at that. Whereas Nadir might value style, and I might value something else. It's
because if you had to weigh the options up, wear the exact same thing every day, they're all in bags ready to go. Because I value no decision making on that, because I've got all other things to do.
Well, I'll do you one more. This was a wedding present, actually. I derived some value for that. It's telling me it's Monday the 1st, and it's saying it's 4:35 or 3:35. So I'm not wearing it for any function. Look.
Wow.
Nicole, have a word with him.
Monday,
have a word with him.
That is a self-winding watch. So if I don't wear it, then it's
My OCD is telling me what the hell we need to change that immediately when we get in the car.
That made me stressed.
I'm going to look at this.
But that's a great point.
This is just for messages, because if I didn't have this, I'd never see nothing anyone messaging me. It's probably a better thing. I should get rid of it.
But that's so beautiful that we all think differently. But also, what's beautiful is we can change the perception for people, and that's when it goes back to Nadir saying the brand.
Someone said to me about changing my shoes yesterday because they want me to wear soleless shoes, like no sole shoes.
Yeah, it was better for you to apparently.
I was like, and so no. They said no one looks at your shoes, and I was like,
everybody looks at your shoes.
Everyone.
There's one word down the side of them shoe which everyone knows. They're £600 shoes.
Yep.
And everyone knows it.
They see Balenciaga and they know.
Well, we both know you're wearing Balenciagas.
Yeah.
Why is that? Because we looked.
First impressions, man. That's one thing my mum always said. First impressions. You're judged on how you speak and how you dress, how you come across.
But then tell me this. So I watched this thing about, I think it was when the crime thing, the Millennium Dome. Heist.
Yeah, that Rob. Yeah.
When the boss turned up, they were like, he wasn't dressed any different. They could just tell he was in charge. So is it the Balenciaga on the shoe, first impression?
No, it can be aura.
Or is it just the entire
It can be aura, presence. It can be that as well. Nadir's father had that. He had a presence. I know people have that presence. We've had teachers like that, haven't we? Certain teachers could just feel that presence.
It goes both ways, though, because sometimes it's nice to go a bit low key.
Yeah.
And to not be very obvious what you do, who you are. Like you saying,
Adil's like that.
Yeah, like you're saying, like about the watch thing. You're not wearing anything crazy. You're wearing an Apple Watch for function, but then you can move a bit low key as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a conversation in the sauna, and someone's asking me about something. I won't repeat too much of the story because it's going to be hard to know clearly who it was. But you have conversations, and they have a conversation with you, and they don't realise until halfway a conversation when they ask a question, and when you answer the question, you can't unsay something.
Yeah.
Know that would.
They have that moment, don't they, where they're like,
and then they change.
Then they realise that okay, we're not talking about the same thing. Then obviously certain people they don't like that moment where they feel like But then this particular example, they realise you were polite to me for the last 20 minutes because
you didn't have to entertain this.
Yeah. You were like,
so there's two sides to it, isn't there?
Yeah, and there's I really like that guy. But again, it was just like when he did a clock. Oh wait, hang on, no, we're not. This is not the same. I was like, really interesting how people respond in those dynamics. Because a lot of people are obviously in the sort of talk about their watches and their cars. It's like, don't mention anything to getting it outside.
Yeah,
didn't mention it. It's like that almost. You say low key. Say it.
It's nice.
Yeah, I like that.
Because
a lot of our circle are like that. To be fair,
but you're in a sauna, you got nothing on. Well, you probably got something on, but yeah, what have you got to judge each other? your character.
Just talking, isn't it?
Yeah, you're
Talking character.
And if you
100%.
have to, maybe if you have to bring up those things, just like, oh yeah, just got the new
Whatever.
Porsche, whatever. Like, give us something else.
Yeah.
Let's just have a personal conversation and don't.
It should never be about those things, should it?
I hate that. And then almost in the other ones where they're like almost trying to act like they're begrudged to tell you, but they desperately can't wait to tell you.
Yeah.
Go on then.
Like, oh, that land I've got as well.
Yeah.
All right, mate. Like,
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
I've not met many like that in a while, to be fair. I think,
oh, I hear it all the time.
But what are the places that you frequent?
well, yeah, maybe we're not around in the environments for it. Maybe because we're just getting older. It's just either me and you together, or we're just with family now, I guess.
Circle stays small, isn't it?
Small, nice and small, and the people in that circle, they're humble.
It's just, I went to an event actually, and there was loads of the watch wankers. All wearing the same copy paste clothes and haircuts, and I was like, obviously, I was just interested. I was asking my business questions with no fucks of anyone else. It's like, I've come to ask my questions. I want my questions answered. It's to a business event, and I went to another event either that week or within that same period of time. It's a big private bank in London. Invited to these kind of nonsense things. Well, we'll say nonsense. It's fantastic, and there's no one in that room looked. They looked like normal people, like smart London. It was a proper London premium place, and all of them would be worth 20 times minimum what those other guys are wearing, or their watches talking about Dubai.
I've been fortunate.
Superficial, isn't it?
I've been fortunate in my life to being around extremely wealthy people, relatively often, and the people that got real wealth, you just don't know. I knew/know a guy that he's worth a B. He's got the B. And he was coming to a Christmas party, and his wife, lovely guy, really like humble, he made his money in software, and his wife, I got along with her well, and we used to see them every so often. And she was like, I was having to shout at him because all he wore was Doc Martens, like the classic Doc Martens, and he's wearing this with a black tie because it was like a Christmas do. And she was like, yeah, I had to have a go at him because he had a hole in the front of his Doc Martens, and he just said, I'll just wear a pair of black socks and nobody will be able to tell the difference. this guy's, his net worth is over $1 billion. And that's that's the flex.
Steve Jobs was the same, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Same jeans, same t-shirt.
He's not bothered.
Mike
then
Ashley, he's same.
But then Mark Zuckerberg goes in a hoodie. It's like, he already did the thing.
Yeah, but he's changed. He switched it up a bit.
Yeah, he's
got
done a whole PR effort though, because he was a nerd, right? Everyone, he got hammered in Congress, didn't he? Everyone, internet, like nerd, robots, and the answers.
Yeah.
Next one, he's UFC fighting.
Yeah, on podcasts
and surfing. Yeah. You're like, oh, cool.
Hunting and stuff. Yeah,
done a good job.
Yeah, he has, and I prefer that person though, if I'm honest, to the cock and balls I call them. It's each their own as well.
Changed the fucking world.
Yeah.
For the good or for the bad. That's a whole.
Yeah, that's a rabbit hole.
Well, this is it, right? So, is social media controlling us, or is it just exposing us? Because the same behaviour goes on behind closed doors. Just it's now being publicised everywhere.
I think it amplifies human nature.
Agreed.
So, but it's getting to a point now where the thing that's going to get you to engage is more likely to be negative. Things are being more divisive. So you're at camp 1, camp 2, you can't be in the middle. And if you follow this one thing that tells me everything I know about you as a person and all that stuff. So it's an amplification of human behaviour, in my view. But we all have the benefit of having lived without social media. And hopefully we can kind of tap into that time and say, actually,
I think that's why we're quite different. Not just me and Nadir, but this generation is different. Our generation, if you like.
But what do you do with when you're that young, malleable mind going through your formative years?
Yeah.
And that's something that I don't have kids yet. But I think about stuff like that.
I just like seeing friends doing cool stuff. Like people go, oh, social media. I just look at like if you use social media, like, oh look, that's where you went the weekend.
Yeah, it's a good connection piece.
It is a good connection.
All I'd be interested in. That's what I saw. I don't really look at. That's all I use it for.
And I don't think we have it or use it at all, other than for work purposes, actually. But even through the work channel, we like to see what other friends are up to. The business.
Yeah, we had a guy that we went to school with. So how long are we talking? 16 years. Reach out because he's got a concept in Manchester, and he said, "I've just seen you open in Manchester. WhatsApp to me." There's no, I'm not in contact with this guy. So it's good for that.
Yeah, it's amazing what people see.
It is.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Amazing what people see.
Really is.
Yeah, I was in hospital on Friday night. Yeah, so a week ago, and put a picture up. Fucking hell, the amount of people who clearly follow my life.
Oh, really?
The amount of messages I had was insane.
Oh,
Just
wow.
on story, no post. Just
Yeah,
story.
yeah.
It was on like a 24-hour story. Mental. And everyone I've seen since since
Questioned you about it.
has that. Mad. But it's a powerful tool.
It's a very powerful tool. It is, and it's positives and negatives, isn't there, with it all. I got rid of it when I was about 21, something like that. A profile of mine got hacked or something, and I just like, well, you know what, I just can't be arsed with this anyway. And actually, it was a good move for me, because I really found out who my friends were as well at the time. I stripped it all down, and I liked it. I liked having life without it, if I'm honest. I was very comfortable just with having a phone. And even that, I think I changed my number about 10 times, just to keep dodging. So yeah, it's an interesting one, social media.
It's good. It's a good educational tool, but you have to be really careful.
If it's even true,
yeah.
That's like friendships, though. Again, like back to reaching out to people, connection.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not everyone knows who they say they are. I just think about a particular friend that's come up to mind. Like, you don't have to spend lots of time with this person, but like, just every interaction with that person's valuable.
Yeah.
Little check-ins on your mind there. Make the effort to touch in either way.
Talking's a big one. Talking's a big one. People don't do it anymore.
Pick up the phone.
Yeah, people don't do it. They don't do it.
We only ever WhatsApp each other is when we say I'm with the wife, or
I'm in a meeting or something.
Don't call me.
Yeah.
But beyond that,
everything's.
Yeah.
But you get so much more from a conversation, man.
I actually hate phone calls. I'm all through text, or I like to meet up in person.
Yeah, person.
I like to see people.
Yeah,
I'd rather travel and see someone.
Doesn't happen enough.
Nah, you see, because everyone's lazy.
Yeah.
It's like convenience, isn't it? Let's jump on it. You don't get nothing from Zoom. Like, if it's functional.
It's hard work.
It's hard work.
Can't connect.
No, you can't connect.
Screen's a blocker.
It's a blocker.
Can't read you.
No, you don't get no oxytocin either. That's what they talk. Also, all the chemicals don't come off, so there's no connection. Which obviously, oxytocin is trust, and
you can't build that.
Can't build that,
and you can't read. It's hard because we're both like jumping in.
Yeah,
you can't read the physical cues, and then I'm on a Zoom call, but really I'm texting down here.
Yeah.
No, there's an art to conversation. There's certainly
there is an art. But that's back to the coffee thing, right? It's just it's a gateway.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we say, it's a cultural thing, but yeah, it's a gateway. Is it the new pint? Is it the new soft drink? Is it the new, it's a central piece for conversation.
So then, to wrap it up, what does Hubb mean to you?
That's so funny, because you were the one that asked me that on our first ever podcast.
Yeah, actually, yeah, we sat down like this in our studio, and that was it. I dropped it one time.
And I find it, I'm sure Nadir will have a very philosophical and articulate answer. I maybe don't have that in the locker. But what it means is, I will go back to it. It means an air of freedom and passion. But also, I think on a deeper level, it gives me a purpose, and Hubb is a bit of a purpose for me. Whether that's to go on and do more things with coffee, or if it allows me to continue the connection with Nadir, it's certainly a purpose for me.
Same question to you.
Yeah, I've just been sat here thinking. Hubb is passion. It's probably the first time in our professional lives that we've operated with freedom, because there's nobody affecting the decision making. We can do what we want. We can have the label look like that. We can open the shop here. It's our chance to challenge ourselves and hopefully showcase something. And I think that's really where the drive boils down, is because it's like an extension of yourself. The other side of it is, I think it's an opportunity to win. And I think that's also a big driver, is we want to win in this category, or we want to win with this venture, and we think we can do it. And I think that's what I also see, which is a key driver, is we want to be the best in this.
What does the best have to do to be the best?
Keep doing what we're doing, tighten it up a bit, grow, improve.
Keep working hard. Keep working hard. Breaking down barriers. I think that's a big one.
I'll tell you, like I think I already said already, but definitely for me, friendship, connection. Well, that's just through meeting you. Well, that's just through the way I perceive.
No, for sure. I think the journey today has been, we've made mistakes, we've lost loads of money, we've put ourselves in pressure situations, we've lost hair. We both had alopecia at different times.
Yeah.
But the one thing that has remained constant, we've also had the best time.
Yeah.
We laugh like every day. We're like connected on family and friendship, but also this. And it's been so enjoyable. Aside from like all the challenges and back against the wall and it's like shit, like how am I going to pay this bill or that bill, it's been the best experience, genuinely. And that's why if it doesn't go the direction we want to go in, I think I'd be a very happy man.
Yeah.
Because I'm happy with what we created and I've had a great time doing it.
And we can certainly say we give it our all.
Can't ask more than that.
Yeah.
Apart from to win.
To win, yeah. And to exit.
To winning. Thanks for coming on, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, man. Honestly, that was a pleasure. An honour. Thanks for having us, man.
Welcome.
Thank you.